That's right. Toxicity will never win you games.
วิดีโอเฮียอะไรเนี่ย
Maintaining competitive integrity.
There's a lot on the line at the international, and some players will try anything to gain an advantage. Let's take a look at how some of the most vigilant teams could fall victim to chicanery.
兄弟们，我在酒店碰到一个老奶奶，我跟她聊得很开心，她有点让我想起了我的祖母。我们可以要她来我们的训练室看一下吗？
可以。
พาสาวมาดูสาวไหนวะ
The boys play e-games here. Can you pause this game?
เซนคิวน่ารักมาก
Is that Carrie Tinker? Does somebody want candies here?
Did you spot what was wrong? That old lady was actually a 34-year-old Brazilian man spying on another team. You never know when such treachery may be afoot.
The crowd.
ใครไม่ทำวิดีโอ
Some of you
แค่
may
นี้
be
มันบอก
thinking, Fear, I'm used to playing from the comfort of my bedroom. What happens if at some point I become acutely aware of the thousands of people watching and start panicking as the fragile threads of my psyche unravel, leaving nothing but the weight of my own cosmic insignificance?
Keyboards, mice, and other peripherals.
We recommend all players bring 2 sets of their preferred equipment to the event.
Hey, Moshe, what are you doing here?
You know, if you miss a few TI, they make you do this shit again.
Sorry, man.
Thank you.
2 ชั่วโมงถัดมา
With that, we have covered all 75 tips for the TI after party.
75
Now, we're
tips
ready to go
for
find a new
TI
team
after
and be the
party
guy everyone wants to talk to.
คือมาไม่ทันไงเมื่อกี้เพิ่งไปเซตไลฟ์มาแล้วกูเจออะไรเนี่ย เซฟปะน่ะไม่ใช่นั่นพิธีกรตกใจ
And that's everything you need to know about your first time at the international.
เดี๋ยวค่อยมา
Hopefully,
ย้อนดูแล้วกัน
now you won't get ganked by any problems and keep true sight of your goals.
ปีนี้มีทูไซป่ะเว้ยดู
Thank
ทู
you
ไซ
for watching.
Yeah, so not the most entertaining video in the world, but hopefully y'all learned something and you could every year Gabe is gonna be pissed. What can you do?
แค่นี้วิดีโอ
What a fantastic
ไม่เห็นมีฮีโร่ใหม่มาเลย
Of course, looking behind the scenes at exactly how our first-time TI players are introduced into the whole experience of the 2 weeks that went on here.
อ๋อเป็นวิดีโอแนะ
That
น
was very interesting that both
นัก
the
เล่นเหรอผู้เล่นเหรอ
30-year-old Brazilian men were dressing up as grandmas. I don't know what's is this the strat to get to top 6 in TI?
You gotta stay vigilant, all right? You never know what's gonna happen.
Probably half of the people who are like watching Dota, even though Dota is a relatively old community, are like, what is this piece of technology that they're using? What is this VHS? Like, what is that?
I was wondering if any of the young players actually were questioning what it was, or if that was just dialogue put in there.
Doesn't matter. 10 out of 10. I think that was live. I don't think that was like pre-recorded.
No, it was
10
a
out
lot
of
of
10
fun. It's been so much fun seeing just how far all of the new players were able to make. Of course, we just said goodbye to P-Vision, but to get third on your very first TI for Satanic 9 Class Ducalis, it's amazing.
Definitely is. Unfortunately, for example, 9 Class wasn't able to experience TI previous year because of the visa issue. He now gets a 3rd place, which is a huge result. And for them to, experience the main stage of TI, they got so close. They kind of had that game in the bag as well. But I really like what they did, especially with no one, with the hugs and everything, understanding that the youngest member of the team, they need to know how to lift him up, and they definitely did. But there's a lot to learn from this as well.
Yeah, look, it's been such an absolute pleasure working with you guys for this TI. The day is not over by any means. We still have our champions to crown, a team to lift that Aegis. Our grand final will be coming up very soon, but before that begins, of course, we have our TI tradition. We're going to head on down to the stage with Tsunami for our cosplay contest.
มีแข่งคอสเพย์มานั่งดูกันดีกว่าพักให้มีได้พักหน่อยก่อนที่จะไปแข่งรอบชิงต่อไปในวันนี้นะคะ
the International 14 Cosplay Contest sponsored by SteelSeries. As you can see, I've already got a bevy of judges joining me. If you don't mind introducing yourselves, I've got Margito as Lena.
นีน่า
Hello.
นีน่าแล้วก็ลูน่า
Yes, thank you so much for bringing me on.
กระลอก
I love
พูดวิง
the experience of TI at Copenhagen last year, and we have just as many amazing cosplayers to show you today. So I hope you all are excited.
Oh, they should be, and indeed, I see them already out of the corner of my eye, as well as I'm joined by Chiyu Neko as Hoodwink.
Hi everyone, it's so nice to be back here again, and I'm so excited to be back in Europe. I'm so excited to see everyone's amazing work. European cosplay does not disappoint.
And we are going to be able to see that in the flesh very soon. And last but not least, we've got Karo Inana as Luna.
Hello everyone, this is my very first TI, so I'm so excited to be here, and oh my god, this is amazing. Can you see all these people? Can you see the stage? Can you see it all? It's awesome.
It's beautiful. And we are also going to show off some beautiful cosplays. So, shall we get started with the showcase? Lena, if you may.
Thank you. All right, first off, we have Graphamanka as Naga Siren.
Naga Siren.
She has made it here all the way from Kazakhstan. It took her 4 months to make this beautiful cosplay.
Naga Siren ใหญ่มาก ใหญ่มาก
And just overall, look at this amazing silhouette of this cosplay and how she's really brought the hero to life.
I love the movement as well,
Mommy.
slithering along that stage. Next
up, we have Tanakt as
Naga.
This cosplayer is tiny. Look at him.
ไม่ใช่ไทนี่แล้วนี่ X หรือเปล่าอ๋อหมายถึงว่าขนาดใช่ไหมไทนี่แต่ X นะ
and stands tall at 250 centimeters. And for all you Americans out there, that's over 8 feet tall.
Or in other words, you can stack 2 of me on top and I still wouldn't be as tall. Next up, number 3.
Next
X
up
but
is
tiny.
Clockwork. Look at this beauty. This costume was planned in 1 year, made in 2 months. Day-to-day.
Clockwork.
And as he said, it's fully hand-painted and made of foam and hopes and dreams.
I
Clean.
love the
Tiny
animations
X
as well. That man's about to hook shot across the stage.
All right, now we have Varen as Juggernaut.
จะกระนอนเหรอ
To him, this is not just a costume.
จะกระนอนตัวเล็กมาก
for the game that has inspired him to spend over
หมุนดาบหน่อยหมุนดาบ
hours
หมุนดาบให้มันเหมือนหน่อย
bringing it here
คุ
today.
ยงคุยงคุยง
Here's a little bonus
ไม่หมุนเลย
fact for you out
โยงเดียว
there. This
เหมือน
man
มังกี้คิง
won that GG well played
Monkey
contest
King
that we did yesterday, so he's very multi-talented.
ยักษ์กระนอน
Next up, we have Twisted Fate as Lena. This cosplayer came to us all the way from Colombia, and she picked the set.
อุ้ยนี่น่าสวย
And she picked the set because she really wanted to showcase her roots and her love for Latin American culture.
The
อันนี้น่าสวย
heritage
นะ
and the sophistication to go with it is incredible.
Next up is Marzaus as Shadow Shaman, and when I went
Ui,
to
Shadow
him to ask him
Shaman.
about his interesting story, he said he tried to go for realism,
ชาแมนกูขนยาว
but claims no birds were harmed in its making.
ชาแมนกูขนขายาวมาก
He's got the taunt down too.
ชาแมนกูขนโคตรยาวเลย
G Naked as Beastmaster, and this is yet another beautifully crafted costume with tiny details all throughout the costume.
Beastmaster.
It has intricate foam work and also a lot of sewing techniques and clever solutions for LEDs and technology all throughout this costume.
The technology and the fitness required to be able to pull off a cosplay like this. Incredible stuff.
Next up, we have Yangi as Murda. This cosplayer's makeup took 2 hours to do every morning, so appreciate that. She did it for all of you guys.
ชื่ออะไร
She
นะ
also bought her very first power tool
อะไร
just to
ต้า
make
ๆหรือ
her
เปล่า
wings.
And she's got the firearms to support it as well. Next up.
Next up is Astela as Wind Ranger, and she said it's been made in 4 months, and her favorite part is her bow that is 3D printed.
อุ๊ยสวย
2 modes of LEDs, and us as judges, we just love
สวย
the
มาก
that is actually made of twigs.
วินสวยมาก
Give her a few more kills and she's gonna turn orange in that Arcana. And our last showcase.
Alright, so our last cosplayer to be presented on stage today is Vanusha as Anti-Mage. This costume also has several different techniques. She's used 3D modeling, foam, hand sculpting, and sewing. And please pay extra attention to her shoulders, where she has hand sculpted deep pauldrons. They are just gorgeous.
The Oni Demon. Can we get a round of applause for all of these cosplayers to make it to this final stage? This was only the top 10 after a tough selection, and everyone has done an incredible job. There is so much talent and passion on this stage right now. And in the spirit of that, we would like to take a moment to remember one specific cosplayer who joined this stage last year. Some of you may recall seeing a stunning Enchantress cosplay in Copenhagen, and the artist behind that hero was Grace Peachy Bell Bell. And she unfortunately lost her battle with leukemia earlier this year.
Oh.
She was a cherished member of the community and a dear friend to us all.
ตายแล้ว
So,
cosplay
Barclays Arena, if you could, please stand up and share your love, share your cheers,
to respect.
share your applause for all of the cosplay talent here on this stage in Grace's honor.
แม้ว่าบางคนจะเสียชีวิตระหว่างทางที่จะมาโคสเพลย์เป็นมะเร็ง
Every finalist here shares her same passion, and we are here to celebrate that.
สังคมโดตาค่ะทุกคนสังคมหล่อหลอม
And now I would like all of you to keep the same energy as we share some awards with the standouts on this stage. If you may.
Our first award that we'll announce is Judges' Choice. And to receive Judges' Choice, you need to receive overall high score and, well, impress us. So without further ado, that award goes to Axe as Tanakt, other way around.
X ตัวใหญ่มาก
Next up. Next up, we have. Oh wait, it's yours.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Oh wow, thank you.
Lena always gets priority. She's a core hero.
Yes, thank you. All right, so our next award is Best Technique, and here we really focus on the craft. So the top 10 here, this is like our top winners, actually. Everyone on stage today are winners, even if you don't get these special awards, because we've had 2 days of looking at the cosplayers before then, and they've told us all
ชาแมนกูชอบชาแมนมาก
So here we will look for
คนขา
high-level
แน่นมาก
crafts in several areas. And our Best Technique winner is Twisted Grace as Lena. Yeah, this person just wowed us when she walked in. We just fell in love with this costume right away. This has such great attention to details. She has foam work, electronics and soldering, wig work, resin casting, sewing, hand sewing. She's done it all, and she's done it all beautifully. So congratulations.
ใหญ่มาก
Alright, next up we have Best Transformation. As we all know, Dota heroes are weird. They're squirrels, rocks, trees, all sorts of weird things, and it's really hard to match the anatomy of that and bring that to life. So I'm really happy to pronounce this award. This cosplayer really wowed us. They walked through the door and we were like, wow. So they worked really hard on getting the perfect scale, 1 to 25 of the entire character, and they even did little tiny feet. So let's give it up for Jimbalis!
นี่ก็เอามือออกตลอดพอกเวิร์กเอาไปเถอะของพ็อปแม่งเต็มตัวเลย
And we have one last award to give out, and that is Best in Show. Barclays Arena. Gonna get a drum roll with your feet, please. And the winner of Best in Show is Rehab G Naked as Beastmaster.
แต่บีดมาสเตอร์สวยอยู่นะชุดอะ
A full performance from start to finish. The aesthetics, the animations, the craftsmanship on a display here has been impeccable. And not just for her, but again at Barclays Arena, one more round of applause for all the cosplays, whether you submitted it and weren't able to make it to finals, or everyone who made it here in the arena.
เมื่อไหร่จะประกาศฮีโร่ตัวใหม่สักทีอยากดูแล้วใครเคาะใหม่ปอกแป๊กปอกแป๊กปอกแป๊กปอกแป๊กวะ
The International 14 Cosplay Contest is sponsored by Steel Series, but we've got some other community efforts that we would like to showcase.
Thank you so much, Tsunami. Absolutely, cosplayers absolutely.
นี่แอดช็อตแอนิเมชันนี่ไปโหวตนิดหน่อยแต่ว่ามันเยอะเกินโหวตไม่ไหว
My personal favorites of the event, besides the world-class Dota, and that is announcing the winners of the short film contest. The short film contest is so incredible because it displays why our community is so amazing. From creative builds to creative plays to, of course, creative art, like all of the hundreds of thousands of videos that you guys have submitted over the course of the international showing your creativity. We went through every single submissions, even the AI ones, and there were a lot, but we came out with some of the top 3 from the community. So before I announce your top 3, if I could get you guys one more time to give a round of applause to everyone that submitted for the short film contest this year to motivate them to do it again.
Woo!
Thank you guys so much. All right, my friends, the time has come. We had so many good submissions this year, and the top 3 was harder than ever to find. But we do have our first one.
AI.
In third place, no stranger to the short film contest final, second place winner last year, and now representing South America on the stage yet again. My friends,
แชมป์ปีที่แล้วมามอบรางวัลนะ
for you to remember not to make enemies out of your teammates. Lord knows I could learn that lesson. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Grudges by Night Fury.
Night Fury บัดเจ็ตเหมือนเพิ่งดูไปนะแต่ตลกจริงเพราะนี่มันคือเรื่องจริงโดนไถซัพพอร์ตก็ต้องกินต้องใช้นะคะทุกคนจะให้แต่ตัวคออย่างเดียวมันบ่ได้มิดซิ่งมิดแต่แตกโดนแย่งแน่หรือไม่ก็ไปตีก่อนนะตีก่อนแล้วตีไม่ไหวปะอ๋อจะเอาให้แครี่ไอ้ออฟเรียนล่อมาเลยโดนเฟิร์สเพื่อนลุมตีเลยแถวบ้านเรียกกรรมตามสนอง
Absolutely incredible. A good lesson for us all, and what a fantastic twist. Thank you so much, and congratulations on third place. Now, our second place finalist here is no stranger to the short film contest grand finals either. Won first place 7 years ago, and 2-time second place winner. Such an incredible film, custom models, great story, and one heck of an animation. You would expect that, though, from Keller Max and their piece, Dead Inside.
Dead Inside อ๋อไออันไดที่อยู่ในนี้เราก็ดูแล้วนี่ก็ชอบไอเดียดีมากอันไดที่แม่งหลบอยู่ในบ้านแล้วไม่ยอมออกมาอันนี้ดีดูแล้วข้างนอกเขาบวกกันยับเลยแม่งอยู่ในบ้านอยู่ในโดมเองไม่ทำอะไรชอบอ่ะลิกกี้อ่ะแมวลิกกี้นี่มาทุกที่คอมพังอันดายิ่งของจริงไม่ตายอันนี้ออกแนวน่ารัก
As we go in to our grand winner.
Now,
friends, concept is key in these. You can have fantastic animations, you can have fantastic script, but a whole team of people brought together this one for your first place. Same team that won third place last year. Relative newcomers to the short film contest, but this year they have taken it. You know, in this world that we live in, there are a lot of different words out there. One of them is a word for cinema that the Europeans use. It's called kino. And here, I have to say that this short film is indeed absolute cinema. Let's go ahead and check out your first place winner and see if you can get all the references.
ขอดูหน่อยดิน่าจะไม่ได้ดูแน่เลยคีโน่ไม่ได้ดูออกน่ารักวิเย้ว่ามันฉากในนั้นนี่เบดลันเนอร์อ่ะขนลุกอุ้ยขนลุกซีนิเมติกซีเนมาจริงอันนี้ซีเนมาจริงนี่ธานอสไอเดียดีมากมาจากหนังหลายๆเรื่องมีแมทริกด้วยเป็นไงหยุดกระสุน
These things every single year. Keep on doing it, guys. It is such an honor and a pleasure to be able to see you guys and all that creativity shine. Now, I have to say, everybody, looking at this crowd today, those rafters are full. That main stage is full. Ladies and gentlemen, can you let them hear you from at home, every fool that did not come to this event today? There you go. I know it's a fantastic view and experience online as well, but after hearing that, you might be thinking to yourself, damn, I really should have bought a ticket. I really should have gone. Well, don't worry, my friends, because there's always another chance to go to an international. Of course, you might be thinking, where the hell is the next one? Well, we have one more film for you.
Hi, it's Gabe again. First off, I want to thank everyone in Germany for helping us make the Internationals such a success. I have a quick announcement to make before we crown a new champion.
ประกาศอะไรอ่ะ
We all share our love of the game with an international community, and I'm excited to announce that next year's International will also be returning to a previous location.
เซี่ยงไฮ้เหรอโอ้ยเซี่ยงไฮ้เฮ้ยปีหน้ากูไป
What a perfect timing! We have Extreme Gaming back
นายเดี๋ยวคุยกับเพื่อนก่อน
We are going
ปี
to
หน้าจัดเซี่ยงไฮ้
Shanghai with TI 2026. A full year still ahead of us, and obviously
it's an electric place to host TI.
อยู่ดีเน็ตก็หลุด
Part of the script, Steves.
It's like it could not be better timing, right? You have XG who make it all the way, through the lower bracket. They get better and better. They make it to the finals. It's not like they need a buff to have even more motivation to be good and then be the crowning champions maybe next year. But yeah, Shanghai Chinese TI, insane.
It's just beautiful.
พิมพ์ก่อน
right? The idea.
พิมพ์ก่อนเป่าประกาศก่อนว่าปีหน้ากูไปแน่
When we have all these regions able to step up and show it to the world.
yeah, and we have to also remember that it does give. I mean, I think Extreme Gaming being in the grand finals gives it as well.
ทำไมวิกกี้เรนดี้ยังไม่ลงอีก
Dota 2 as a game, and that is indeed Effie perfect timing.
It really is, because there's this pattern in TI when a region just does better than they were expected to. It reinvigorates the entire region. All of a sudden, players get to scrim these teams that have placed so highly in international tournaments. Everyone gets excited to play. People who thought that there wasn't a viable path for them suddenly think that there is. So
เดี๋ยวขออนุญาตย้อนวิดีโอก่อนนะว่าจัดที่เซี่ยงไฮ้เพราะเราจะแคปลง
Today, those rafters are full. That main stage is full. Ladies and gentlemen.
The world.
It's against the East.
But next year's international will also be returning to a previous location.
อุ้ยขนลุกเห็นรูปนี้เลยขนลุกทุกที
I hope to see you there.
I hope to see you there. See you there. See you there. เจอกันค่ะแกเบล
We have decided to do something a little bit different, something that we've never done before. Dota 2 has had so many incredible faces in the international, and we have decided to give a little bit of thanks to one of the biggest players that has been here since the beginning. Now, I could tell you all about this person, but why would I want to do that when we can go straight to the biggest legends of Dota all time and let them know who they think is one of the most impactful Dota players in history?
ใครอะเดนดี้เหรอ
If you ask me who's the greatest of all time in
คุโร
Dota
กิ
history, well, there's a lot of history. There's not many of us left that still competed at the first TI a decade and a half ago,
ตั้ง
right
แต่
here
ส
in
มัย
Germany.
แบบ TI
So
แร
many
กเลยอะ
names, so many faces that defined entire eras. But if it had to be just one person, there is no one better, in my opinion,
ใคร
than John Whipples.
จอห์นเวเปอร์เขาคือใครคะ
Back at TI1, a lot of us didn't think it was real. $1 million prize pool? Come on.
Who?
But I remember this German dude, John Whipples. He was all about it. Crazy guy. He was sure Dota 2 was going to be the next big thing, so he wanted us all to join him for it. I mean, come on, he's the guy who discovered Dendy.
Would I say John Whipples taught me everything about life, about patch? Absolutely! Every day I would watch his replays, and one day I saw this fountain hook bug, and I asked Papi, can we do this at TI? And Papi said, no, it's bullshit. And I said, well, John Whipples used it. And he said,
motherfucking John Whipples is doing it? Then I'm doing it. Guy gave me my first machete. Called it the rapier.
Tong Fu had that game. Is that balanced? You hook a guy with Aegis? Fuck John Whipples.
Whipples was an icon, man.
Back in the days, we didn't have all of this fancy shit, these Dota Pro trackers,
Liquipedia or Dota Buff. If you wanted the meta, if you wanted the new stuff,
you wanted that good shit, you downloaded some John Whipple replays.
He had all the best strats.
Thank you, man! Ravage on everyone! The black hole as well! Light of Evan turns it around! Ravage as well! Stolen by Dendy! Are you kidding me? It's the John Whipple strat!
He was a decent player back in the day, but never really TI material. But then when he started coaching, it started getting really bad.
First, this guy rage quits during TI4 Grand Finals. Then 2 minutes later starts fighting with his teammates. Then he started sucking up to NA teams, gets hired by Complexity, but after that incident at TI5, ooh man, ooh, sheesh, ooh.
You really think I should drop my heels, John Whipples?
John
It's the
Whipple
most
คือใคร
efficient play. What would Envy do? Oh. Fuck.
Oh man. Even the NA teams wouldn't touch him anymore after that.
We hired John Whipple to be our coach on Wins. 我们当时都以为他很牛，因为当时所有人都告诉我们 John Whipple 是最棒的。We asked him what to draft. He just throws darts at the board.
Pudge and techies already.
All right, boys.
Wings deliver.
How do we win with Pudge, techies, John Whipples? 他根本什么都不懂。We won because we were good. John Whipple does nothing. John Whipple 真的不是人啊。
After we saw what he did with Rapid,
ใครคือจอห์นวิปเปอร์กูยังไม่รู้เลย
I invited him to my room to talk Dota. He took my suitcase, all my clothes. For the rest of the event, I have just one pair of shorts. I can't fathom what kind of a freak would do that.
Yeah, man, it was dark days. Times were tough. Times were really tough. And when things looked the most bleak, like we lost everybody, we needed a manager, coach, half a team. John Whipple gave us a call, and he didn't have the best reputation stealing those pants and stuff, but he gave us everything. And before TI10, when Seb lost his retina, he told Seb, take my eye and go win a third TI. And yeah, we got 6 and stuff, but that's okay. That was pretty nice of him.
Yeah.
That was pretty nice of him.
One day I
บ้า
was
บอกันไป
playing
หมดแล้ว
knife in handy, of course with Yatra, and I really fucked up because I stabbed myself right before the TI finals, and I said,
เนี่ยมีโปสกล้ากูยังไม่
It's
ก็
all
ยังโดนอ่ะ
But out from the crowd.
มีโปสกล้ากูก็เอากับเขาด้วย
Mad man said, take my hands, Carlops. And I took his hands, and I won one TI with one hand, and I took the second hand, and I won the second TI. Thank you, John Whipples. Thank you, John Whipples.
When John Whipples said he started the Dark Tome of Oscarwatch to help us finally beat Gaming Gladiators, I believed him. But I told him, if you do this, they might never make it to TI again.
เจอชิบหาย
And I thought, that sounds pretty good. And he looked me in the eyes, and he said, I already did it. It did work though.
Did John Whipples ever make it to the international? No. As a player, he was terrible. But he always watched. He always supported us. He always played pubs and told his friends. And in the end, it's not the players at TI that make it special. It's about people like John Whipples, the viewer, the pubber, the brother. That's why we do what we do. People like you. People like John Whipples.
Guys, because of you, we can play this beautiful game and live our dream lives as a Dota players. And thank you so much. We love you.
感谢大家的观看，也感谢大家15年来一直的陪伴。
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks to all the Dota fans.
Thank you, fans, for the 14 years of support.
แต่เราคิดถึงนะ ได้เจอเดนดี้ได้เจอทุกคนเลย
Thank you, Dota viewers.
โคแนบก็ยังมาเลยนะ
You guys are the heart of the community. This is the greatest tournament. We're looking forward every single year, and I hope you guys enjoy the show.
And now, to achieve his Lifetime Achievement Award for all that he's done in Dota 2, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Jonathan Whipples! Oh, he's sacrificed. Any words to say, John Whipples, to the crowd?
Thank you, Dota. And TI, you're amazing.
All right. Any other words, John Whipples?
China.
We have to get to a grand finals before we can do that, my friend. So thank you so much to him and everyone like him who's been supporting the International for so long. It is truly the fans, you the viewers at home and here, that make this what it is. Thank you so much, everybody, and let's get on with the show.
Oof, how to follow that up. Ooh, I just want to echo his sentiment real quick there. That was incredibly wholesome, and I do want to just sign that bottom line. Without you guys at home, and obviously without you guys in the arena, we would not be here. We would not see this beautiful game play out the way it does, Kezu.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it just feels like kind of fake until you get to like a real life event. You see the people, you see the crowd, you hear the emotion during the game, you see the game unfold. And all the people too that we saw in the video, like they're all just legends. Sometimes you forget, you see them again, you just get so happy. So yeah, thank you to everyone.
Yeah, being part of this space is such a privilege, and I couldn't imagine life in any other way, and it truly is thanks to the fans. Like, without you guys, there wouldn't be any Dota.
It's just a beautiful game. I mean, it speaks for itself. I mean, the way that the fans interact, the players, every time you talk to a player and they talk about the international, you can see how much it means. Like, even, we interview Snaking on the stage and how important this event is. Like, again, the Dota, it speaks for itself. It's beautiful. The fans are great. Everything's great. I love it so much.
Yeah, and we just saw a lot of TI champions talking on camera. We're going to see potential TI champions, well, definitely 5 TI champions on stage play. We are going to head into our grand finals very soon. And both of our teams, they do have a lot of experience here at the International. I know there's even 2 TI champions already playing. They are still two-time hopefuls for the TI championship. Let's take a look at all that experience that these players have. I think we start out with Falcons, Effie. This team only started 2 years ago, came 4th last year, wasn't what they wanted, but they're back here in the grand finals.
Yeah, they had a bit of a turbulent year in the sense that if you compare it to the year before that, where they were winning everything, they didn't look as good, but they peaked at just the right amount of time. And we talk about them being a newer team, but it's a team full of veterans. Crit's been chasing the Aegis forever. Snaking has been playing since the olden days. You've got Coach AUI 2000 as well. And yeah, you've got some of the newer players in, Skeeter and Mallory and ATF. But with the veteran experience, it feels hard to call Falcons a new team.
I mean, also, like you were saying, I think it matters a lot. If you look at last season where they were so dominant, they went into TI being kind of the favorites, at least to me and many other people, and I don't think that really helped them. But if you look here, they weren't in like their best form or like really considered the favorites going into this TI, and I feel like that was an absolutely huge buff to them because now we see them here in the grand finals and they've played so well all throughout TI.
I mean, the mentality of this team to be able to go from like the favorites of the last year to then be, not even in contention a couple of times, it shows that there is such a good kind of system around this team to be able to shine, and they shine when it matters.
They do shine when it matters, although today it matters most of all. So we're going to see if they can make their dream a reality here by taking this Aegis. Snaking and Skeeter have done it before. Being 2-time champions, of course, would mean a lot, but I think our attention maybe goes a little bit out more to the players that have not yet won the International. I think if you guys were here the entire day, which I hope you were, you would have seen a fantastic list of accomplishments by Crit, in particular being the player with the most consecutive TIs in a row under his belt. And this is his first time, Kezu, in the grand finals.
Yeah, it's taken him so long. It's like what he's been chasing it since like 2015. Like this guy is one of the most consistent players when it comes to like top tier Dota. Another one that he reminds me of is like, the likes of Zai. That he's played so long, always like top 2, top 3, doesn't matter what hero you give him, always does well, always makes it happen, but has never won TI.
I mean, we keep saying uncrowned king for Ame, but I feel like there's the same sentiment should be going the way of Crit. Like at some point, it is inevitable, and in this grand finals, one of them, be it from China or Western Europe, will finally get the Aegis they've been hunting for.
Yeah, and focusing our attention on their opponents because, as T just mentioned, there are multiple players that have been in grand finals before, but never quite reached that pinnacle there, Effie.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard though. Like, for them being so close every time, I think that takes a different level of emotions than what Falcons are currently experiencing. But these players are so deserving of this. Ame, he's been in 2 grand finals that he very well could have taken. XXS, who's been my personal MVP of this tournament, you could feel how hungry that he is for it. And it's about time that this team is here again.
Yeah, and actually, he was so cool in the interview. He was like, he was asked, do you have any nerves? Do you care? He's like, nah, man, I don't feel anything. I'm meant to be here. I'm meant to play in the grand finals. And like you were saying too, Effie, about Ame, like, I just watched a True Side from a few years ago where I believe a Chin Q calling him, well, I guess you're just the king of fireworks, because he always gets second place, loses 2-3, and he gets to watch the fireworks from the losing position. It's heartbreaking.
I mean, he has to live up to those words, right? To say that
if
they weren't in the grand finals, it'd be a 3-0. I'm expecting, based on that, it has to then be a 3-2 grand finals to either side.
ได้ที่ 2 มาหลายรอบแล้วนะ ปีนี้ต้องได้ที่ 1 แล้วนะ
Yeah, it'd be nice. Oh, that'd be. Oh no.
That would be really painful.
Don't talk about it, please.
Wait, God, that's for like game 3 content, not yet. Not
I mean,
yet.
we talk about Crit and a lot of consecutive TIs, and you could make a case for calling him or Zai or any of the other with a lot of TIs on their belt, calling them Uncrowned Kings. But it's Ame that gets called that because he was there twice, so close, and not just, oh, he made it to the grand finals, therefore he's close. No. Those grand finals he played in, Effie, those were nail-biting.
Absolutely. They were almost his. Like, that's what I mean with the emotional recovery and how hard it is to think about that and how hard it must be for him to know that, like, it's one of those moments where you just can't sleep that night. You just play it in your head over and over and over again. Like, what if I just did this differently on Tiny versus Spirit? What if I did this differently on Morphling? This time around, I feel like third time has to be the charm, right?
Right?
It's gotta be.
I mean, since TI8, there's only been a Chinese team in the grand finals twice, of course, both of them being Ame. They're also playing against, like you said, two different teams, so it's now another team Ame can try and go up against. If he wasn't to do it this time, then...
Tess.
Hurts. It
hurts. When we saw these two teams play in the Road to TI, it was the longest series we've had. It was mental. I think that that's what we should be focusing on. We'll see who comes out victorious in the end, but we will see who comes out first out of the gates to take place in the booths, and that is Team Falcons.
มาแล้วฟอลคอนก็ฟอลคอนเถอะเดี๋ยวเจอSunny King Seer Falcon Extreme Gamingเขาค่อนเปิดก่อน โบ5แล้วดูอ่ะ 3-0 หรือเปล่า
Choose wisely and crush those responsible. Extreme Gaming.
It has been 4 years since the Chinese team was in the grand finals of the international.
อาเมนิ่งมากอ่ะ
They were so close. They have returned stronger, better, and ready to take on this grand finals against Team Falcons. And they are no strangers to playing in an international in a grand finals. And I think maybe that just might give them a little edge. And maybe Barclays Arena, in terms of their vocal chords, is giving them a little edge as well.
No, I'm loving the side of, it's right to our left, right? The XG fan base, as soon as the game starts, they're just roaring. It is just so much support for this team. And again, it is the best possible grand finals that you could ask for, right? Falcons versus XG. It's the international for a reason. You want to have the big international teams from across the world clashing against each other. I couldn't ask for anything else today.
No, it's honestly the best thing possible, and we've talked about it before. They've already matched up, and it was an absolute nail-biter. Like 3 games, all over an hour, high skill. You have the team fights back and forth, new picks coming out, just all the stuff happening that you want to see at a TI. But yeah, I gotta say, XG for me and Falcons, like some of their players, they're so high-skilled. I just love watching them play.
But after their matchup, they went through different journeys in the playoffs, right? Falcons just looked extremely dominant after the road to the international. They clearly learned a lot of lessons, took it into the playoffs, whereas Extreme Gaming, their road was not as simple. Their game seemed harder. Their game seemed longer. They had to play in these situations where they were down so much net worth. They could have lost yesterday versus BB Team. They brought it back. They channeled that TI magic. They could have lost today, and they brought it back versus P-Vision, and they channeled that TI magic. I mean, they're just doing this from their passion, from their grit, whereas Falcons are so methodical. They've been so clean the entire playoffs.
Unlike previous TI, so Falcons at least have dropped games, right, in their journey here. Losing game 1 to BB, losing game 1 to P-Vision. The fact that they've at least dropped a game in that series, it does give me hope that it's going to be an extremely competitive TI finals.
Yeah, and to me also, like, I love some of the things that you can see on screen right now. Like, everyone has, like, their own type of techniques, right? You have Skeeter, he does this little lock-in. You have other teams that are gonna, like, you know, gonna do the fist bump, you do your handshake, you, like, get yourself in the zone, like, stay steady. Because these games and being on the stage, especially today, is the most stressful thing that you can go through as a Dota player.
Yeah, and that is even without the crowd still cheering on everyone. Definitely a lot of pressure coming into the booth for both of these squads today. And I do want to talk a little bit about how they faced earlier in the tournament, because those were type of games that we thought defined at that point the road to the international, and we thought that that was going to carry on in the international itself, and it kind of hasn't. So we have seen developments of both teams in a certain way, but I wonder how we would describe their style now, especially compared to that series they played last time.
Falcons to me still seem very much, I would say, the same. They're very stable, very polished. They're going to stick to the heroes. But to me, what I see for this series in particular is team fighting. Off-lane team fight heroes, their priority has been going up. Mars, S tier. Centaur, S tier. XXS, performance one after the other, where he just takes it all, his Earthshaker too. So those are the heroes that I'm particularly looking at for the series.
Yeah, those will be exciting for sure to watch, especially XXS. He's really been stepping it up. But when you look at Falcons versus Extreme Gaming, there's a bit of an issue in terms of how the early game has been going for these teams. Extreme Gaming have found themselves in positions where they're down a lot. They have to play for the late game. They have to turtle. They have to hug Ame, look for their key team fights. Whereas Falcons have been heftily leading almost all of their early games. Even in the games that they lost during playoffs, they were up like 8K net worth at some point. So this is where it's going to be hardest for Extreme Gaming. Can they weather the storm of Falcon's early game, their map efficiency, how much net worth they're going to get, their lanes?
I mean, you can see from the previous series, right? P-Vision, when they were going for the farm game, XG was like, oh, sure, we'll match that. We had nearly no kills in the first 20 minutes. Really, really slow entry to the game. And like Effie's mentioning, it will not be the same this time around. So maybe, Zhao 8 from XG, if he changes a couple of the bans, he tries to take out some of that tempo that Falcons utilize, then we might be getting to the 40, 50-minute points of the game where, the epic team fights and the scaling of Chinese Dota gets to shine.
I am happy you mentioned Zhao 8, because I do want to take a moment to talk about the two coaches that will pick their players a hero. I say that though, Kezu, but I do seem to remember AUI talking about that he's no longer the one clicking the buttons. Zhao 8 is, of course.
Yeah, so of course AUI, he gave it over to Amar, who it seems he's doing a stellar job, right? His last pick, 24 picks, like he nails it, the Underlord, the Huskar, whatever it is. So Amar, honestly, a very big piece for the team. But to stay on the topic of the coaches, these might be two of the most accomplished and most experienced coaches that you have in all of Dota. Zhao 8 himself, he won a TI. He's been in multiple TI finals as a coach. You have AUI who won it as a player, won it as a coach. So yeah, if you're going to have two masterminds go up against each other, you've got them right here.
But also in regards to the finals, right? Falcons, they played the most games coming into it, but they have the smallest hero pool when you compare both of them, right? Heroes played, I think it's like 37 to Falcons. XG have played over 45 heroes in like 3 or 4 less games, right? So I think it's, in regards to the coaching, it's going to be, can Zhao 8 find a niche new pick or new strategy to throw at Aoi, whilst Aoi's going to be going for the tried and tested, build that formation they're used to. If the game is to be a loss, it would be fix the fundamentals. But in regards to drafting, the creativity often shines from the side of XG.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the flair that the Chinese region has always had, is that they'll dip into heroes that other teams aren't looking at. Yesterday, for example, we saw the Sniper come out of Extreme Gaming. We saw the carry Chaos Knight come out of Extreme Gaming, Kezu.
Yeah, and it's also like, so this is one of the last times that these teams did match up, right? We talked about the road to TI, but it's just these 70-minute games. You've had a lot of the Beastmasters coming back. And it was honestly just nail-biters. I don't care too much about the drafts, because especially in the grand finals, it's going to be mainly about the gameplay. Sure, the draft, it will make it easier. But if you outplay your opponent, you will weather the storm. You can get through the early game. You can get through the mid game. And I love that you guys touched on it earlier, because where Falcons get the lead, it's early. It's the lanes into the first rotation.
โอ้ยพี่เอกก็มาสตรีมตอนเขาแข่งรอบชิงอีก
Yeah, and one of the ways that Falcons has been getting a
โอ้ย
lead
สตรีมตอนเขาแข่งรอบชิงกันนะ
International Malrine has
พระเอก
a
แม่ง
lot of the Sand Kings and the Earthshakers, Effie.
Oh, Malrine, this guy is the rock of his team in terms of how they have such a strong early game.
อีตอนแข่งรอบรองชนะเลิศก็ทีนึงแล้วอันนั้นก็กูต้องดู2 จอแต่ตอนนี้กูต้องดูอันนี้ละอาเมะพี่เอกกูค่อยดูอันอื่นแล้วกันตอนแรกนึกว่าจะพักแบบว่าไปทำอย่างอื่นแล้วนางยังกลับมาเล่นซิงโรดอีกอะ
The way that they draft, the way that they play their early game, they'll pick this Earthshaker mid, they'll pick this Sand King mid, they'll let him farm his Blink Dagger, and then he's just on that enemy safe lane, creating the stuns with the follow-up damage from Crit, and that's how they get their first.
ดื่มกาแฟยังไม่หมดเลยอะอาเมะกู
It's what they want from him. His heroes
สู้
play
เขา
super
ค่ะ
slow,
เหล่า
and
โก
his
ง
positioning and spell casting
เก้อ
are just
เก้อ
It helps that those heroes that you've highlighted are all kind of very active, little to no cost.
You said
right?
for
If a
knowing.
Syke needs a blink, a Pangolier needs levels. If you shut him down in laning phase, he can still be active and try and fix it. But I think
โอ้ย
critically,
มา
for
ฮั
XG,
นนี
they
มูน
need
ใน
to
โดตะ
try and stop
ในแข่ง
Malrine
ดอทด้วย
opening up the
น่า
early
รัก
game.
Happy honeymoon. And of course, on stage right now, we do have 10 players that really want to claim that Aegis that is on display. But let's take a look at what it actually takes to claim the Aegis.
It is a summit that few have conquered, where the legends of the past have written their own epic stories, where scores of fallen contenders have mourned their shattered dreams. You can give everything and never reach it. But those who triumph here will forge a legacy far greater than fame. 16 teams began this journey in Hamburg. The last two now face off on the ultimate stage. Each is one step from immortality, with one final adversary standing in the way. We gather to bear witness, to honor those who've battled here, to see who will join the ranks of the fallen hopefuls, and who will ascend to the highest tier. The road to victory is always changing. What it takes to be a champion remains the same. Team Falcons versus Extreme Gaming Grand Finals. Game 1.
Here we go, it has begun. We got Extreme Gaming on the Radiant side, Team Falcons on the Dire side, and the drafting has begun. The strategic part of how these two teams will try to get their first victory on the board in this best of 5. Let's see how the teams have prepared versus each other, and let's see how it differs from the series they played earlier last week. We already have a very nice stylistic change. I do love the respect that XM is getting on his sniper there, Effie.
You really have to respect this hero and its ability to come out during the grand finals, because this is his pocket pick. This is his hero that he never loses lane with. And you know what? Just take his lane dominators out of the way, enable Mallory, and that's the play that Falcons are going to make here. For Extreme Gaming, they just take out that Sand King. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to try to let it through and beat it. And now they've got first pick. Maybe they could look towards their XXS Earthshaker, but they've got their freedom of choice here, Kazu.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be a lot about these heroes that we've seen banned out a lot, right? We have Falcons, like Mars is available for the pool. It's gonna be on the eyes of both teams. And yeah, like you said, I love this ban. You wanna make sure that you stay in the comfort and don't give something to the enemy team that's gonna take you out of your comfort. And XM, on these really nasty and annoying heroes, that's his specialty.
It's the exact same bans that XG did against Falcons the last time that they played, and they first picked Shaker in that position. I'm interested to know if they are to do that. Falcons, they first picked Shaker early in the tournament and got annihilated, so they know how to deal with it.
ตัวมั่นใจเขาเนาะ
They go for the Mars. Again, we do have two of the most experienced Mars players in the world now in this grand final between XSS and ATF.
I love this Mars pick. You know it's going to be contested in this draft, but they're saying that their offlane player, XXS, he's been owning this entire tournament. Let's first pick his hero. Who cares counters? Who cares how the early game goes? We'll just get him that Blink Dagger, and he will create situations for us.
Then I'd like Falcons to respond straight away, just like the Pangolier. You've already banned the Puck, the Sniper. Against the Arena, you have that Chaos. If XG is going to go for comfort, why not allow Falcons to match the picks with comfort for themselves?
What I love too, when you have two of the best teams playing like their best heroes, it really goes to show you what they value and what they feel like they want to do against you. Like, what do you need to pick with it? What do you need to ban against it? And here's the Pangolier. Really nice call there. You have a super good with the team fight matching. Looks great.
Yeah, both heroes fit in a lot of different strategies, so not giving away too much here either, and maybe even some flex still possible. It's not likely, but it is possible.
It absolutely is possible, and I feel like if you're also going to look at the bans, both of these heroes require a lot of similar things for them, right? You want this follow-up damage into the teamfight, so the Hoodwinks, the Snaps, very likely that Falcons have their eyes on it, same for Extreme Gaming, and if one of them gets banned out, the other gets picked, gonna have to look further down the list.
The question is, do you think XG is going to start trying to enable the Mars by banning out difficult heroes for the Mars to initiate on, or is it more thinking about the wider game? At the moment, they're still going towards taking away the Maureen specialties, right? The Shakers, but something to think about potentially for future picks.
I think they're thinking of the wider game right now, because if you're first picking your offlaner, you're saying that it
We
doesn't
don't
matter
care, yeah.
how the laning stage goes, we just want this hero for us. And on the topic of Snapfire, that has to be the most contested support between these two teams. It's looked great in the hands of Extreme Gaming, they flex it between 4 and 5, and if you give this hero to crit, we've seen him do magic with it.
Especially when it comes to ultra late game, of course. Which you have to keep in mind, I think.
Okay, so let's see for Falcons. The out of pick phase is very likely for them gonna be this critical hero that we have talked about, very likely on the Snapfire. If you're Falcons, it would be nice if you can keep the Pangolier open, whether it goes mid or it does go into the offlane. And also with a lot of these mids getting banned out, I would not mind if Marine ends up playing it, but you need to kind of ban for it too, so that Extreme don't like force you to put it into the offlane, because there's a lot of Armari heroes that can be quite good against the Mars, you know, maybe some Underlord, where every time the arenas you gate over, you drop the pipe. If any of these two teams know what a Mars wants, they've got the exact correct players for it.
And it will be a ban to the Troll for the ban, the one ban that Falcons had, and the non-surprising Snapfire. I'm sure that also Extreme Gaming knows that this hero would come out at this stage. They opted to ban out the Beastmaster and the Shaker. No harm in that either. Very strong heroes in the hands of Falcons.
I think Snapfire in particular goes up in value if you see an offlaner very early, because you can see if it's a pipe buyer or not. Mars, this hero does not really buy pipe for his team. That's usually the way that teams will play against early game magic damage. Mars has a different archetype though. He's that Yules into Blink Buyer, into BKB, into Refresher, and XG snag up a Hoodwink of their own, the follow-up damage to their stun.
The question for XG is, do they want to double pick support here and then enable Falcons to kind of know exactly what they're laning into in regards to the support powers?
I mean, it would be, I think it's okay if you pick your 5 here, just because you know that most likely you are up against the Snap. Like, you're either up against Snap X or Snap Pango.
So then like a Bane where you can play most lanes.
I was looking at it too, but it's sadly banned.
Oh, is it? Oh, first phase banned, yeah, I'm blind. But they go for the Elder Titan.
Yeah,
Nova had an incredible game yesterday with it.
He's been so good on this hero for years. Even in like the prime LGD days, they were very good at always. You have the range carry on Ame, you get the ET on X Nova in the 5. They lane so well together. It's super good with Mars too, right? Mars goes in and he just wants this abundance of AoE spells being thrown into. They've played this combo many times before. Great pick.
They did this exact opening earlier in the playoffs against Nigma, right? If you replace the Hoodwink with Snapfire, that's the opening they have. But even, we talk about Snap and Hoodwink, it's kind of the same hero for what it does on the map, but it's such a formidable opening. It can pretty much activate any future core picks. It can play any type of game. Like, this is probably the strongest draft opening I think XG could do.
Especially for what it is that they want to do. They want a team fight. They want to out-execute in that mid-game, not based off of their lanes, but based off of how well they spellcast. And they're just going to trickle down on the team fight here, I'm sure, with their next few picks. But what they need right now is damage to take advantage of ET's buff. They need that Leshrac style mid laner that is really going to pump out the DPS.
Honestly, it's going to feel good doing that, because Falcons, they're picking the Enchantress. They're going for that pace in that early game pressure that enabled them to, you know, put teams into the lower bracket. And now against XG, the same formula could work, right? If you break your lanes, take these early towers, it's not going to be a 4-kill game at 15-20 minutes. XG, they have to respect Falcons are going to play a really strong early game.
Yeah, and most likely from the start, this is usually where they end up taking Skeeter's hero, right? You keep the Pango open between like your 2 and 3. You don't really want to show. Sven is something that they've played before. I mean, it's nice if you can get a BKB hero because you are going up against the Mars, against
เนี่ย
the
สเวนมาว่ะ
Because Falcons, this is also no surprise to XG. You have seen these heroes before. You know what they're going to do in the early game. But at the top level of Dota, you can show your cards, but if you execute perfectly, it is really hard to play into it. It's also where the troll ban comes in kind of handy. It's good for the Sven. So now for XG, where do you want to go? They've shown us like a Medusa before because Ame, he wants the carry-to-carry matchup. He can have it if he wants to. This is his pick if he wants to have it.
It's the Medusa or the Ursa. That's where I'm leaning. If you want to go for not dying to the burst and the jump, you can go for the Ursa. You then follow up with your arena, and then the Medusa, like you mentioned, also very, very strong. The only question mark would be Panglid, Diffusal Blade. Is that annoying enough to scare you from picking it? If it isn't, also very, very good.
And this pick for Extreme Gaming is the most important pick in the draft. They have 2 bans afterwards to protect it, and of course it is the other team, it's Falcons, that is getting the overall last pick. So if you want to protect any pick in your draft, this is it. And it will be the Ursa, so that will be Ame's hero for this one.
Yeah, it just gives you that ability to kind of clutch up in the moments. Like a lot of the iconic clips from XG in this tournament have been, pumping in a Lotus or a quick turnaround play, and why not put Ame on a hero that can throw themselves into these vulnerable positions and let the rest of his team shine, and then he'll turn it around.
He gives them like all the follow-up damage that they're looking for, and still it keeps XM open, right? Sure, you have to ban a lot of heroes against this guy. It's one of my favorite guys when it comes to actually XXS, XM, stand-up performance, and you've got to be careful. This guy can absolutely turn the game on its head.
It's a really great pick in terms of also jumping the backline. You have this ET who with the Spirit is going to be able to scout out heroes for you in team fights. You want the ability to instantly connect to them, either with an arena and just burst them down really quickly. The only issue is Ursa ET on lane, you're going to play against either Snap or Enchantress. It's most likely the Snap, and maybe even a Pango off lane. And in that case, he's going to suffer a little bit. Like, his entry into the game will be slower. Ursa is not renowned for his laning unless he's paired with something like a Disruptor.
So they're banning out the Huskar to respect the fact they need Ursa to get into the game, right? Yep. The last time that Amar played Viper competitively was 4 months ago. What stops Amar doing something like this as well? Like I fully break the lane, my Sven will farm, my Pango goes active, they will win me the game, but as long as I do the breaking of the first 15-20 minutes, like that's the thinking I'm having, is because if Amar's happy to Huskar, he'll be happy to bring out any other hero to dominate the lane, and there's the Storm Leshrac bans that you mentioned earlier.
I will say that if there is any team that has Viper on their radar,
เสียดายเนาะปีนี้ไม่ได้นิชา
Go again, go again.
เอ้ยชีส
Oh my god.
มีอีกไหมมีอีกไหม ไนท์ฟอลเฮ้ยมีกี่ตัวเนี่ยแม็กพอแล้วโอ้โห
We gotta fix that one.
Right.
ยังมีอีก
Ooh, very late. Okay.
Going back. Oh, there we
No
go.
one.
Yeah.
Instead they ban out the Doom.
มึงใส่กี่ตัวเนี่ย
Really warm.
อาเมอาเมอาเมอาเม
It is a great way to close it out, and it is closed out by the Queen of Pain on Extreme Gaming. That will be their hero for
Queen of Pain
This one was a no-brainer pick for XG here. They lacked range damage and the ability to instantly blink in and follow up. Storm gets taken out, Lesh builds Blink Dagger gets taken out. All that's left is for Queen of Pain with the Sonic Wave to give you that added damage. XG are looking to blink in, take the fights quickly, burst them, and then re-engage.
And building on that as well, they also have kiting, right? If they are to blink in and maybe misinitiate, Ursa can disengage, Quap can disengage, ET can assist the fight to ensure that the secondary fight also looks quite good. The layering on XG's lineup ensures that this game is going to have points of pressure any single time.
So you can decide, do you want Pango to go in the mid lane, or do you want Amar to play it on the off lane?
You can go mid, but you do take quite a beating from the Queen of Pain. It's not your favorite matchup. You could say similar things for the offlane, even though I feel like maybe with the Snap 4, you can like try to offset the lane. So to me, it's more about what they value more. Like what do they also feel like they need from the game? You have 2 guys that jump in. Like your draft covers quite a lot. So if you care more about the lanes, you could go for a pretty heavy laning hero here.
They only have 10 seconds to think about what to do with this final pick, and here it is. Oh, it's an Ember Spirit. We don't get to see that man on the main stage that often this weekend.
So they went for this Ember just because they wanted to secure that mid lane matchup versus the Queen of Pain. They want something that can just stay on lane versus it, not get bullied out, and try to match its tempo.
Yeah, not only that, it provides so much vision throughout the game. The lockdown available for XG is quite limited, so if Maori's going in first, baiting XSS to ever waste a spear or arena, and then activates the rest of his lineup to go in, and then you throw in a Pangolier with the Rolling Thunder as well, vision and information will be always on the side of Falcons if they're the one going in first.
So if you're playing Hoodwink and ET versus Ember Spirit, who's having a good start and is getting these runes, good luck. Good luck, because you cannot defend yourself against this hero. For Falcons, they have their typical map play style of mid. They're going to have their initiation from the off lane. They're going to have Malrine building these early items and running at people, and the double supports farming the entire map. The question for XG is if they can match that pace in the early game and get to the point where they can blink and instantly take these fights, because that early game looks tough.
Yeah, you got to have a lot of mid focus, right? We've already spoke about Ember and what they can do, but also Queen of Pain, right? If Queen of Pain pops off and every time you go somewhere you're getting a kill, it could buy enough time for the items of the Mars to fix some of their lockdown issues, or the items on the Ursa to ensure he has that burst potential. I think mid lane is such a critical matchup in this game one.
Yeah, I really love these two drafts. Like the way I see it too is that Falcons, they have this early to mid game that they usually have, and then they might taper off a little bit, you know, against Extreme Ame. He's got his Ursa against the Sven matchup, but I also like that Falcons, they covered their like late game. The refresher on the Ember, the refresher on the Pango, the 5-slot, the 6-slot. Sven, you know, doesn't do too well there, but then his teammates come in again with the network to back it up. So we're in for a long game. We're in for a lot of fights and absolute banger team fighting.
Well, that would be fantastic. I do have one final question to you. You say that this mid matchup super important here with the Queen of Pain and the Ember. How much help are they going to get from the supports? How much help can we expect they get?
Falcons could be tri-laning mid lane. With an Ench and a Snapfire, they're going to be running mid. But XG, they do have the arena. It feels like on their side as well. So they do kind of like a sixth man, and that sometimes historically has helped. And yeah, again, Falcons, the early game, it is looking very, very good.
Okay, let's see. I'm sure that the coach agrees, and that's where we're heading to right now, because Tsunami is standing with AUI.
加油加油
Thank you very much. Yes, indeed, I am standing by AUI 2000, coach of Falcons, and you are no stranger to this, my friend. In 2022 in Singapore, with Tundra coaching Grand Finals. I was wondering if you could maybe take me back in time about that team's journey to Grand Finals versus how Falcons have made it here.
I mean, honestly, for both teams, it's just been an incredibly rewarding journey. I mean, standing in this crowd, like being able to play in front of them, it's all every Dota player dreams of. So I think we're just all grateful to be here.
Let's hear it for just the spirit of competition. Now, I'm sure you have a very vivid memory of how that last Grand Final went. Upper bracket final, you played against Team Secret. It went to 3 games. They went down to lower bracket, had to play 3 games against Liquid, and how did your grand final go after that?
It was good, it was 3-0.
It was good, it was 3-0. Now we're in a similar situation. You went to 3 games against Extreme, and now they're back. Well, actually, no, it was P-Vision, actually. The equation has changed. Everything's up in the air now.
I mean, I would love a 3-0, but honestly, I sort of hope for 5 games, you know? We actually respect Extreme a lot as a team, so we're super happy to play them now.
Then let's hear it for the potential of this grand final. Hamburg, make some noise for this grand final!
Welcome to the International, everybody! Let's kick this shit off with a bang! It's China striking first blood!
Cannot be more fitting. A return in bounce East versus West will grace the grand finals one more time as Ame returns to claim his throne. An uncrowned king against a king already crowned. You could not ask for a better storyline going into this immaculate TI.
That's right. There is so much history that goes into the International. And a large part of that old history, some of you might remember, was that balance of power. It was China versus the world. Every odd year, an international team would win. Every even year, a Chinese team would win. For 7 years, this was true, until Ame and LGD fell to OG at TIA.
History was written, and once more we return to write history in the stars. Can XG make the miracle happen? Can they make this tough road through the lower bracket, return to a finals, a third appearance for some of these players? They have consistently fallen short, but perhaps this is their moment to put their name on that Aegis. They are against a very tough opponent in Falcons. They have been dominating this meta. They have been setting the trends. They have their comfort picks. It's not a question of knowing what they're going to play. It's a question of how do you beat what they play? Because everybody knows the heroes that are going to come out from these playmakers. Can you out-team fight them? Can you out-skirmish them? That is the challenge ahead in this series for XG.
Already see XM and Malrine trading blows, as we will see in hopefully 5 games of this series.
Oh yeah.
XM has already taken a bit of a lead here at 10-2, and it seems like all the lanes are going well for Extreme, as another 10-0 for Ame. Seems that, do you feel like Extreme Gaming put a bit more emphasis on the lanes against Falcons?
If anything, I think they did it against P-Vision. They had to learn how to not get run over in some of these lower bracket series. The European team's laning stage is insane. You have to come prepared for it. You cannot give them too much room, too much tempo, particularly when you give up these tempo supports. The Chen, the Enchantress, you can't ban them all. Snaking's going to get something in this game. If Amar is on one of those tempo setters like the Bristleback, for example, these games can spiral very quickly off a laning stage win. XG need to step up their first 10 minutes in this series if they want to have a good chance of competing. But that said, they also made some crazy comebacks.
Yes.
This is a team, you cannot count them out at any point in that game. And this is another lineup that can just scale like a beast across all 3 cores. I like that they went for the first pick Mars. That's a dominance move. We're taking it away from ATF. We're going to get it for XXS early. We don't care if we have to first pick it. We want him comfortable. We want him controlling the fights. And by God, has this man had a TI. He absolutely has to be in the front running for this MVP right now.
100%. I mean, he saved Extreme Gaming's life in that lower bracket final. In fact, in the lower bracket in its entirety, he has come up for Extreme time and time again, and he is a large reason why they are here in this finals. Ame, he's trying to put some pressure onto Amar where he can in this Ursa versus Pango matchup, but the mobility is not allowing him to do so. Amar, 19-2, doing the best of his comrades when it comes to the CS.
And we do see the support swap from Falcons. This Elder Titan's going to be a pivotal hero in this matchup. It's something that XG are going to more and more. It's a crazy teamfight scaler, something to give them confidence in the late game. Downside is it does have some rough lane matchups. Falcons are trying to abuse this Enchantress with the Dispel against X-Nova. Get that lane win in the off lane for Amar. Does require you to put crit into that safe lane. You lose a little comfortability, but you gain really good support matchups here.
Certainly feels like a lot of draft threats on the table no matter who wins in this game, right? If all of a sudden the Elder Titan is kicked to the side and this Enchantress reigns supreme as a support, we've seen how when the games start going late, any support that is able to farm for themselves has big, big value.
And also, we have the 2 biggest support ranged playmakers in this meta, the Hoodwink and the
เรียบร้อย
Knocked back by the God's Rebuke, will not be able to get a stun off. A second kill for Extreme in this laning phase as they are up now 1,000 gold.
This is such a strong duo. You can't ask for more in this meta right now. Terrifying lane to go up against. And the fact you had to put crit up here to try and get that Enchantress ET matchup does hurt crit a little bit because these Snaps and Hoodwinks want to play with the offlaner. They want to get aggressive. They want to use the early spell power to build momentum. Earn charge is already online for Jin-Q. Super strong right now.
Lots of damage. Jin-Q stepping a bit too far forward, trying to pressure Skeeter, takes a lot of damage. They even threw the blood grenade at him, but they couldn't go for the kill. While Amar goes down, they trade out cores. X-Nova, can he beat down Snaking? One more hit, he's got an 2-for-1 special, and the action returns
ข้างบนก็
at the
ได้
top
ศพ
lane, as this time it's Crit who puts his life in danger and does not manage to get out of it.
I was maybe a little concerned for XG laning-wise coming into this series, but already they are hitting the mark. This XXS Mars is the most farm hero coming out of this laning phase. They even get a kill with that Ursa on the Pango, not expected, and so much XP for X-Nova on an amazing hero to get early levels on in this Elder Titan. Already has the boots online, already level 4, putting points into that natural order. You combine this with some of the Queen damage later, the Mars damage later. They have such good teamfight combinations. If you're Falcons, you need to get this Ember off to a good start. Play through him, let him drive the pace of the game. Don't let XG set up these big fights around Roshan where they're super confident in their AoE control.
Fighting for power runes, but locked down by the chains. Got a bushwhack, trying to stop it. Another stun comes in. XM is able to get the blink away, and Jinkyu is the one to pick up the arcane rune instead. A little bit of HP fed over to Malrine. He'll be okay, and XM being the ranged hero should be able to weather through this a bit.
Jinkyu just playing with him. This early Urn creates such a threat with the blood grenade combination. He's basically just fighting two supports in the river, taking the rune away from Malrine. That's a huge win. As XM feeling the pressure of some of these summons, double range creep plus Enchantress plus Catapult about to hit your tower. Need reinforcements here.
Yeah, where is this Elder Titan? He's been hanging out with this Ursa, but he's needed in the mid lane. They pop a glyph here, and depending on how much Falcons want to tank here, they have another enchant, so another creep to be able to tank this tower. A few more Siege Wagon hits, and then another round of creeps will enter into the tower. So this Siege Wagon, it's going to get well below half here. The Spirit only just now showing up, but what do you even do as an Elder Titan this early?
Not a lot. Tough matchups. You don't interact well with the Ember Spirit. You don't have the lockdown for him. Just got to beat him back, but that is some significant tower pressure.
Oh,
Ame.
but the trade-off, Ame.
Me-
He almost gets the kill on Amar.
Me
but
ma
also
ket
takes the
ma ket
Wisdom
wheel eng.
Shrine. That is a big move. Extreme. I mean, they drew the first blood quite figuratively and literally as they managed to get the first kill, but also won the laning phase. Falcons with this move on mid was brilliant, but the trade-off, Extreme got to be very happy as their supports are going to get their level 6s before Falcons.
Huge advantage gained off that play from Ame, getting aggressive on that battle line. Even forced double support TP there that yielded nothing for Falcons. So now, if you want to get aggressive top with this Mars, no support can come in for Skeeter. If you want to get aggressive on mid, that option's available with the Sonic Wave.
Yeah, like how does Skeeter even play top anymore? It's a level 6 Mars and a level 5 Hoodwink at 8 minutes in. He's got to abandon this lane.
So many levels on these supports.
Power Rune, Malrine tries to get it and does manage to grab it. Regen into the bottle.
Nice pickup for him. I mean, XM not finding early fights with this Sonic Wave. Love to get some action going, but the mobility from this Ember Spirit, just not something that XG can deal with early on in this game.
This tower is going to fall, but who's going to get the last hit on it? Malrine tries to get there in time, but XM already snags the deny. Malrine would love to get a kill on X-Nova, but not the case. Against an Enchantress, this is just inevitable, right? You're going to bleed out towers.
Yes.
You just got to try and slow it down as much as possible.
Especially with the lane swap they did. When this Enchantress plays from the off lane, those moves behind the tier 1s are incredibly dangerous, and they're a lot more fluid for Sneyking to make than if he was stuck in that safe lane trying to secure farm for the Sven.
Sneyking did not make the read there. That a ward was placed on that high ground. He gets his own really good laning ward, though.
Ame hunting him here in the jungle. He's got his eyes on him.
You got to punish this Enchantress. You can't just let Sneyking live in your jungle. He will do that until you punish him. Thinking about the Sonic Wave, is it required? XM, they can't even get him.
Nice enchant for the Dispel and the Overpower. Ame trying to hold it. Sneyking
เฮ้ย
holds longer.
ข้างบนแม่งโซโล่คิวกันละ
Shows up in the top lane is going to die. It's just a matter of time. The crit's not dead yet. And now with the Ember Spirit here, looks like the Mars is in big trouble, and Jinkyu is not able to chase after crit. It's going to be XXS to fall instead. It's Falcons
มาหมดเลยว่ะ
up the top. They do not want to be losing these early towers.
That was a big committal. I mean, you're showing all 3 cores on this top lane to bring down that Mars, who is having a fantastic time. That's a big kill. But it does give a lot of space to the Ursa, more space for XM on the mid. Got to look towards this 10-minute power rune. If he can grab it here, would be a huge win for XG. Malrine looking for an amp damage or a haste to accelerate his game.
Once again, Malrine going to try and outclick XM for it, but this time XM gets the bottle. With a haste rune, not required to pop it just yet. He's able to blink away.
Big rune to take away from that Ember.
Yeah.
That is super dangerous around the map.
I mean,
Still
it's also
no Sonic Wave thrown in this game.
Yeah, we got to start establishing our own threats from the mid lane if you're Extreme Gaming. You're looking around where the Sonic Wave has been off cooldown for like 4 minutes now. We just haven't put it to use.
It's easily a move he can make to top, right? If you have this arena on top, anybody that shows there, just arena them into the Sonic Wave. Even if reinforcements come in, that can be a great fight. You can connect through the gate. It's kind of your best point of attack right now. You can also continue to hold it here and use it defensively. If you want Ame to continue playing bottom against some of the threat that the Pango holds, the Queen can counterplay that a little bit.
Crit playing games with XXS and Jinkyu once again, but this time around Extreme bring a whole lot more heroes to the mix. Falcons decline to do the same. They'll give up the tower finally and make a trade-off of their own.
A lot of trades happening in this game, but man, Crit has suffered in this early game. Losing the Wisdom Shrines really hurt him because he had to play more sacrificial in that safe lane to give Sven some of that XP. This Snapfire's level 4.5 right now. I don't know when you're going to have kisses in this game, but it's not going to be for a while. And to me, this has been the spell that's defined this hero at this TI. You know, heroes come and change, the spells come and change, but right now, getting kisses online fast, taking fights around that ult, super powerful long-range damage. We've seen it just win team fights straight up. We saw what Jin-Q did with it in the previous series. The more this is delayed, the better the team fights look for XG, particularly around that Roche pit, if Ame gets off to a fast start. Mallory just playing with him mid, looking for that 12-minute power rune.
XM challenges him again. The stomp, it lands. Good bushwhack, the turnaround. There's the Sonic Wave, but it wasn't even required. Jin-Q had it well in hand. That bushwhack combined with the sharpshooter, well played.
And Skeeter's here looking for the fight. There's nothing to fight. He'll just pick up the rune and go back to the jungle. Huge kill in this Ember Sphere. That's the hero. You want to get the fast Mage Slayer on that Falcons can snowball through. Every time you take him off the map, you buy so much time for your other cores.
Yeah, and Skeeter, he will have the luxury of stacks where you can see it. Extreme do not have that same luxury. 9 more stacks than Extreme have done. I mean, when you have that kind of imbalance, Extreme have to get aggressive, right? There's no other option.
Start stacking of your own, claim early Roshans, or start taking some more team fights. The interesting part about this game is you won the Wisdom Shrine battle, but Falcons are ahead in XP. Because Skeeter just got so much more out of this jungle. This Sven is level 11. He's a couple of levels ahead of the nearest core. So their supports are behind, but their cores are ahead. And these are cores that can absolutely just win the fight, even if the supports are lacking some net worth.
Hey, I'm just happy we get to see 2 cores that do not build Helm Adam.
Oh, there's not going to be a single Helm in this game.
Bless. Another Wisdom Shrine is coming up in 40 seconds. Crowd happiest they've been all day.
The Helm meta died somewhere in the lower bracket, it would seem, as these teams just want to duke it out. Malrine still looking for that Mage Slayer, but very strong on the front line as long as he doesn't get bushwhacked.
Again, dude.
Tried to get the slight chains, but let's face it, diving into the tier 2, that is a risk a bit too much for Falcons. And this smoke seems to have petered out.
And items flying in for XG right now. They dodge that fight, they get Blade Mail on the Quap, they get Yules on the Mars. Early fighting items now online. 14-minute Wisdom Shrines are spawning. Looks like they're just going to get it traded out here unless X-Nova wants to try something really sneaky down there.
Yeah, this will make it so that Malrine can't be nearly as aggressive, right? There was very little punish outside of a sick bushwhack that we saw, but now he's going to be running into potentially a Mars who just Yules Arena Spears. Easy.
Super deadly on the front line. A lot of threat coming out from XXS right now. Downside is you don't have the reach of something like the Blink Dagger, so it's a little harder to just make an aggressive smoke play with confidence. But if you get the right angle, you just run into heroes, phase boots into the Yules, it'll do the job, and yeah, that ward scouted that out.
That first move with this Yules, it's going to be red, smoked right underneath a laning ward.
Upside is if you just go to the tier 1, you might just be able to pummel this tower and get something out of this move regardless. The Falcons don't want to give up this tier 1 for free.
Sure, and maybe find the sacrificial support position.
Yep.
Here comes that play. Even had the scan on the mid lane right next to XM to see who was next to him.
Obs placed right under Sentry up top.
You're going to try for it. Rolling Thunder. Amar. The chains, but he doesn't pull the trigger just yet. I mean, if the tower's not going to fall, there's really no need.
That's not a fight you want to force into this amp damage Ember. Not the timing to do it, especially when Ursa's just not going to join the fight. Battle Fury was just finished for Ame a minute ago. He's cruising in the farm department. He's having a great time. No pressure on him right now. Recovering his disadvantage against the Sven, who had all of those ancient stacks earlier. Does not want to be dragged into a bad engagement for a tier 1.
Falcons make a show of a 5-man defense in the mid lane. After the tower's defended, back to hitting neutrals. They really haven't ground out that usual lead that Falcons tends to do after a laning phase. Extreme is still keeping up despite the stack disparity.
Difficult team to grind it out against.
Why is that?
they're just resilient around the map. They rarely give up really bad core deaths. I mean, the games that are spiraling are going to spiral for anybody, but I feel like they just don't feed in poor places. It's usually getting lanes super deep. Nova, he's...
okay, the Croaker. Yeah, Snaking had that well in control. There was no problem there whatsoever.
That's that Mage Slayer online for the Ember, so time to get aggressive. Follow Malrine, let him bring these supports back into the game in a really nice position. Look,
Malrine does find another one. Slight chains, kisses. And XXS is biding his time, waiting for Malrine to show, but the kisses give too much information. They have to back away.
Too easy right now. Just follow this Ember. Very little XG can do about it unless they are just baiting someone out and going and using.
Yeah, as you said, the core is not being picked off, but they do manage to find some support kills.
XG don't mind this kind of style though. Like, they're willing to give up some part of the map early on in a game to push it later, get their item timings, and take that fight. Even if it's at a 5 or 6K network disadvantage, they believe in their execution. They believe in their timing. They're going to overcome that, particularly around the Roche pit. We have seen this team dominate Roshan fights. To me, it's been their signature sauce for this event.
I was about to say, if anything's going to give them even more confidence, is going to be that lower bracket finals, game 3. Yeah. They played against a net worth advantage the entire time, and still had the confidence they were going to be able to pull through, and they sure did.
I mean, at this point, just believe XXS is going to win you the Roshan fight because he's done it time and time again.
Yeah, just give up every Roche. Just make sure XXS is in a position to make the steal.
And there's the Blink Dagger for the Mars. He was thinking about BKB or Blink, but he opts for the Blink. Tells me XG want to get aggressive here in the next few minutes. If you can get a team fight on top of Falcons with you being the initiator, particularly on that Pangolier or Ember, it can break that fight open, especially if it's around the pit, straight into Roshan for this Ursa. This is a really pivotal moment in this game for Falcons to defend their map.
Baiting an 18-minute power rune that doesn't spawn on Mar. Makes a poke at XM and reveals that there is a whole heap of heroes right behind him.
Blinks are also online for Falcons. Pango Blink, Sven Blink, Instant Smoke. Falcons are going to look to do what XG just wanted to.
XXS is thinking about striking first, though, and he managed to get the pin. No Yules required. They just blew him up, and the Rolling Thunder will come too late to save the Ember Spirit. But maybe Skeeter, you can see him. He's holding off right now, waiting for his initiation. When's he going to make his blink? They got the arena onto the 2 supports. Now he jumps in right after the Mars. He went in for the off laner, but now he's surrounded by heroes, and he'll be blown up by Ame. Ame was patient. He waited for his counterpart in Falcons. He waited for Skeeter.
Beautiful patience from Ame on the side of the fight. He waits for the Sven jump, jumps in with ult. No chance to this early in the game. And he will clean house. The exact team fight XG we're looking for started a little differently for them, but a beautiful pin from XXS. You burst down the Ember. That's what you want. Ember or Pango every single time. It's a recipe for success.
And he could have gone for the safe play of the Yules, but it would have been an entirely different fight. The execution was fast, and that's what kept Falcons out.
He gets to hold arena for later on, and that's what's kind of dissuading Skeeter here. Like, he doesn't want to jump this Hoodwink who's already dying. He doesn't want to jump that Blade Mail Quap. He wants the Mars. He got sick cleaves off him. Almost kills XM with that angle. But Ame, just better positioning, better moment to jump.
I mean, it all starts with the Ember Spirit pickup, right? He can play the longer game because they're up a man in that regard. But Skeeter forced to do something. XM trying to force a play here.
Stomp misses.
It covers at least the retreat from XM. Falcons go back to their side of the jungle. Despite the loss in that mid lane, not that big of a net worth lead for Extreme. We're still keeping this game very tight at 20 minutes, though. Extreme, they want the Tormentor. They're going to smoke up for it. Falcons will do the same, not to smoke, but trying to defend their territory.
Look at the Basher. Freshly done on Ame. He got it off that fight. Could be super pivotal at locking down these mobile cores here.
Smoke breaks on XXS. XXS not going to blink forward. Doesn't want to go in blind. Now spawns Snaking, and he'll just pin him. See if they can blow him up with a break. It'll make it a little bit easier, but the heals, man. They can't even burst him down. They just used so many spells and didn't claim the 5 position. They will back out. A good stomp, though, and a pin off of it. They're going to jump in. Ame goes for the kill, and they got him. Amar does what he can, but again, the Rolling Thunder is just not enough to save the life of his buddy. He's got the Yules to defend. XXS trying to stop these kisses. A blink away, and he does manage to prevent any losses there. Falcons, they'll retreat as 4, and Extreme now own the Tormentor.
Such strong early item timings from XG, and XXS finding the spears time and time again. Just sets everything up in this fight. Maureen has not been able to play a single fight other than him just getting nuked down instantly.
Yeah.
And all of that was off of a casual stomp from X-Nova. That's how this Elder Titan gets you. He can throw the spirit out, he can wait for a slight, and then he's going to force you to remnant out or you get stomped, and you don't know what's coming after that stomp. Very little to bail you out of that situation. It's an annoying spell for Maureen to just be sitting under in the middle of the fight. I mean, Amar's the most farmed hero here for Falcons. He's having quite a good game. Just can't find his mark in these engagements.
Ame's not alone down here, but Falcons know it, thanks to the deep wards that they were able to place earlier in the game. Has not allowed them to take control of the match. Going back to the Ember Spirit, though, this is a hero that we haven't actually seen too much of here at TI. Why is that?
I think his early game is still good, but he kind of falls off in that mid game a little bit. He doesn't pack the same punch, and I think players are concerned about his ultra late game scaling sometimes too. Like, yeah, 6 or 7 slots, all these spirit heroes are crazy, but you compare it to things like the Queen of Pain with the sonic wave damage. It's just not the same punch, right? He's kind of an attrition hero. He likes to go in the fight, take the long fight. It feels like a lot of these fights are just decided off a jump. You throw in the nukes, you blow somebody up. It's not Ember Spirit style right now. And now his strength can be just set up for some of these long-range supports. Great hero to combine with the Hoodwinks and the Snapfires that are in this meta. And I think that's what Falcons wanted to do. They just got slowed down.
Yeah, particularly since they don't actually have a save here on the side of Extreme. There was potential for Slight Chains Kisses to get guaranteed kills, but we didn't see too many of those, and not really on big consequential heroes. And as a result, Ame is up at 13K now.
It's also a hero that takes that mid tower very quickly, and then you kind of collapse the game to that mid lane. You make them fight your Ember when he's really strong. You make their supports engage this hero that they have trouble locking down. I think XG dodged that pretty well. Falcons didn't get a lot out of that, 5 to 15 minute mark as they wanted to, especially with some of the power runes going to Maureen.
Sure, they gave up the mid tower. They didn't actually fight for it. They even denied it themselves, limiting the amount of gold that Falcons got out of it.
They didn't bleed bad kills, which would have snowballed this game, and they won the side lanes. That was a huge component. XXS got off to such a fast start. You could afford to give up something around that mid lane and still feel good about the first 10 minutes here. And now you're cruising into this mid game very even. Still anybody's to take in these fights, and I mean, Roshan's still just sitting there in the pit. Very tempting for both teams.
Absolutely.
We even see the X-Nova Spirit scouting it out. I mean, there is some worry here on XG for Falcons to man up for it if they feel you're on the wrong part of the map.
We are now at that point, by the way, where we're going to get some serious magic resistance problems for Falcons. If Amar is going to build to scale, these supports on the side of Extreme, you've got the combination of maxed out natural order combined with the deconstruction facet. That's already making a lot of this magic damage be pure. And then you're going to have Hoodwink come in. He's buying up a shard really soon. That boomerang is just going to amp up that magic damage even more. The burst damage is going to go crazy.
If you get a latch off this Mars, that hero is just gone. No hard save in this lineup. At least you have some armor differential from the Sven. You have the shield on the Ember. You have a shield on Pango. You can be tanky in these fights, Enchantress with the sprites. But you are worried about that first point of contact.
Yeah, which means Falcons, I mean, they've been struggling to find the initiation. That's what's been causing them so many issues in these early fights. It always seems like XXS is able to hit first before Amar does. So they either got to find that or they got to start just, playing to farm, playing to scale.
They have BKB Blink on this Sven now, though. This changes it a lot. Now you can let Skeeter go in. He can pick his mark, BKB. You're not afraid of him dying super fast here. And he has level 3 ulti online. He's hitting a really nice power point. Falcons want to use it.
And if they can get a pick off right now with this smoke, then turn it into Roshan, take that away from an Ursa lineup, would be a massive boon for Falcons. They do not find the kill, though, as Extreme Gaming are already backed up behind their tier 2, commence with their own smoke play.
They feel that Roche was maybe being forced. They're smoking before Ame finishes his BKB, though they did get the Ags on the Queen and the BKB on the Mars, so they have a nice 2-core item timing to try and take this fight.
They're going to get in position here, but Ame's still going to keep farming up. He's so close to his BKB. I'm sure he's calling to his team, don't force it too much. I'm almost there.
Almost a defensive Roche play. We don't want to do it right now. We want to let Ame farm, but we also don't want you doing it.
Yeah. And if they just stick around though, okay, they do find one of the wards. There was 2 different very dangerous wards that Falcons managed to get down. That was one in the triangle, the other one being in that lane, off lane position. Nobody on Extreme will be caught by that yet.
ชิบหายแล้ว
These are the
XM
types of situations where
XM
ET feels amazing because he
This
just
would be
do so
really
much
massive if they
scouting.
could catch him, but there's no save similar ward.
ดีนะมี
Still
วอร์ด
well found by Falcons, at least taking away some vision on both
โอ้ย
sides.
วอร์ดช่วยชีวิต
It all comes down to this Roche, man, and we're gonna have BKB
Oh,
cores on
so
both
don't
sides.
Xnova, he wants it.
They get the kill on the ward. Amar does not make the jump for it. Skeeter's too far away. Skeeter's just farming away. He doesn't want to fall behind Ame right now in this standoff. Neither carry wants to just fully invest into contesting this Roshan.
But Ame got to finish BKB. They got the double obs without anybody getting punished on that. That's a huge win for XG. That was a big smoke move from Falcons to get those
BKB
wards
มี
up
ของ
and
พร้อ
try
ม
and
แล้ว
use
ร
them
อ
to
อะไร
take a
อะ
fight. You let him go down for free. You have one more around this pit top.
And if Falcons isn't going to make the move, then Extreme, maybe they'll be the ones to play on the offensive here. The smoke is going to break on the low ground. Snake King making a break for it with his drums, trying to get far enough ahead. XXS, he'll blow the arena for him. Nice Yules though. That'll dodge a little bit, still hit. Caught by the break, but the heals are so much, they do not still have the burst damage to kill him. They need the Ursa to jump on to Snake King, but he doesn't want to show himself. Synchronized Yulesing for Extreme Gaming, they'll back away.
They might lose their last ward up here. XXS, they gave him the Ob Sentry. Very smart. Don't sacrifice your positioning on these backline supports.
Extreme Gaming seem to know Falcons' ward spots very well.
They have no obs left. This is brutal for them.
An Aghanim Scepter is done for Amar though, so another peak for Falcons, perhaps another chance to take matters into their own hands.
The team fight's super strong for both teams. It's just about who jumps first, and that's why the vision's so important. You lost all these wards, whereas XG, they have that ET to do a little scouting.
I mean, at this rate, we're going to get 2 or 3 more items on these carries before we actually get a fight around the Roshan pit.
Nobody wants to man up for it first. You get caught in that pit, it's absolute destruction.
Malrine found, not pinned. Roll up will stop him, and he dodges away from the stomp. XXS has to use a defensive BKB. Double ults from Falcons for a BKB on XXS. I don't think that gives a clear enough advantage either way for these teams to force it.
Nope. Especially if the Mars gets gone on, you don't have a clear initiation as XG. They do buy a gem, which is interesting considering they just killed 3 wards. I mean, how much vision's left on the map? They really want to secure vision for the fight. Flying out to Xnova right now. But Falcons are getting a lot of items up during this period. Almost level 20 on this event. This Ember is catching up in this game. I mean, that's the upside for Malrine. He's on the best split push hero in this match. He's just going to rat these side lanes down. He will recover his GPM. Continue to scale.
That's why Extreme, they're going to force it onto the bit. And it feels like they just have to. Snake King is trying to keep tabs, though. He's got his creep, checking it out every once in a while. But this Roshan is about to swap over to the other side. Not only does it sound like you think that Falcons have gotten the better of this stalemate, but it's also about to flip over to a side where they can play off of buybacks in their outpost.
I don't think the first half of that stalemate was good for them, but I think the second half was. I think XG could have been more aggressive there with how much vision they brought down. Falcons playing a little scared. But now, like you said, that Roche going to the other side, it hurts. Especially if Falcons are willing to commit buybacks here, and you just can't man up for this as Ame. It's way too terrifying.
It's also going to be another Tormentor spawn. He didn't spot the ward. XXS saw a sentry, but the ward is on the other side of the tree there.
It's a good one. Super valuable as this Roche switches sides.
And while Extreme have all shuttled down to this bottom part of the map, Falcons, they're staying split. Amar's getting a lot of farm out of his top lane. He might actually be able to take that tower at some point in time. As you said, Malrine, best split pusher in the game at this point on the Ember Spirit, so he's enjoying all the farm he's getting out of this situation. It's not much, but Falcons is grinding more and more gold into their favor. Extreme Gaming, they got to do something about this. They're going to force the Roshan, and Falcons not going to contest. Almost saying that, all right, we delayed it for like 6 minutes, you can finally have it.
It is only the first one, right? Not super valuable here. It's just to progress towards the later Roshans.
Yeah, second Roche is going to be around 41 minutes in.
Very slow for an Ursa lineup.
Yeah.
Still have this tier 1 up mid for Falcons, by the way. This objective has not been claimed by XG either. They're working with less map control right now, which is great for Malrine. Means he gets to push these side lanes in deep, gets a lot of vision control off the mid lane to help him do it. He's enjoying life right now.
And a quick Tormentor kill for Falcons. With Extreme stuck on the other side of the map. Particularly Xnova, who is always just shadowing Ame everywhere he goes. He's really not able to do anything else.
And I must apologize, Austin. We do have one Helma Dominator. It snuck its way in. I don't know how we allowed it. I guess Jinkyu said this game is going to go late. I'm going to start farming up and pushing some waves. I mean,
Helma Dom Hoodwink? Are you serious, man?
This was probably the least expected one here. You know, you could argue for the Mars. A lot of these offlaners just wanted to accelerate their game and have the Helm on the lane. But a second item Hoodwink Dominator. I don't think I've ever seen that.
You know what I hate the most is that it just kind of makes sense the way that they're likely to be ratted a bit. Somebody's got to get one on Extreme. Aghanim Scepter done for Malrine.
He's recovered completely.
Level 18 as well. He's getting real big. Considering how bad his game was, where he just kept getting caught by XXS over and over again. This last 10 minutes, this peaceful 10 minutes, feels like he's actually going to be able to play some Dota. He's going to be able to get to some late game. Now we'll see how well he scales into that point compared to the Queen of the Pain, who's currently XM just about to finish up BKB. That is an aggressive blink. He got a Yules off though on the Sven. That delay will not be enough. Too much burst damage coming in from the side. Oh! Third Splitter stops Skeeter. Does Extreme realize this? They certainly do. A BKB keep him
อุ้ย
inside
ห
the
งไม่โดน
arena. The Skeeter
แต่หมีมา
Ame will come collect the kill that his team serves
เออ
all because
เอ
of
อ
Xnova.
ซินคิว
His far sight, he saw it coming the entire way in Earth Splitter to catch
ใจ
the
ชื้น
Sven
เลยกู
TP.
Into another D-Ward. This man is absolutely on point right now for XG. And they will take that trade. Taking this Sven off the map will create a larger differential between him and Ame. That's exactly what you want. This Sven-Ursa matchup is generally not fun for the Sven. The farther this Ursa pulls ahead, the harder it is to take that fight, unless you can go ultra late with refreshers and satanics and that kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
Ame in control of the carry battle right now. Huge pickup for XG. I mean, that was a crazy blink from XM. He just felt like there was going to be an opening there. I guess he's right in the end. Very sacrificial.
And if he doesn't get the Yules off on the Sven, like even though he dies, that little bit of delay, it made all the difference for Xnova to get there in time.
Very clutch Yules. And these Yules can become Wind Wakers way later in this game.
Yeah, sure.
That's the nice thing about them, and the Wind Waker is amazing against this Falcons lineup.
Still a bit worried though, even though the Sven has died. We've seen, in particular, yesterday we saw the Ame Sven. 2,500 damage crits. I mean, you can get Wind Wakers, but can you react fast enough to stop that kind of burst damage? Snaking, is this guy just untouchable in this game? What is it? They can kill the Sven, but they
อันนี้
can't
คิ
stop
ง
the
แม่ง
Enchantress.
หิวแรงชิบหาย
It
เล
is
ย
called untouchable for a reason.
I guess so.
You should not even waste your time. If Ame's there, it's a quick pick-me-up, right?
Of course, yeah.
But Ame doesn't want to commit his time to take Enchantress off the map. If anything, you just want to threaten Snaking. You know, make him think he can die, so he doesn't push as aggressively. But don't commit so much to actually kill him, and it's a negative network play. Okay.
BKB done for XM. So the next time he aggressively blinks in, he can at least ignore the stuns. We'll see if he can ignore the damage. Ame with an Abyssal Blade, no! Does not get the follow-up bash required for the kill. And he'll try and make use of the last 25 seconds of this Aegis. I thought he was going to just push the tier 2. But Extreme content with the pace of the game as it is.
No,
they're going to smoke to the other side. Never mind. They're going to go. They're baiting out XM right now.
They want blood right now. Aegis is going to expire, but they finished that Abyssal. They finished Hex on the Mars and the BKB on the Queen. Huge item timing for XG. They're looking to strike. I mean, this has kind of been the MO of this game. Both teams hit their item timings. They look for a play. But the other team recognizes it, and they dodge that moment until they get to theirs. At some point, that bounce will break here.
Well, now some of that magic amp that we were talking about is still going to be effective, but there is a pipe.
Huge item
on Snaking. Big pickup for him.
Yeah, the aura is worth so much here.
And this is kind of a weird positioning. We swap places. And it's going to be Extreme breaking the smoke, going into their own jungle. Wait, you got the side device initiation onto the Pango, and the Earth Splitter's on top of it with so much magic damage. He is burst down.
Shard stomp in with the
เอาแล้วโดนล่า
later. No one is surviving that play. And that is all a glimpse of him off of that ET Spirit vision.
Yeah.
That's all it takes for you to get insta jump from the Hex.
But what do you do with this pickoff?
What do Falcons try and do here? They're looking on this ward. They have Daedalus on Skeeter.
XXS still has BKB, but they got the sun on him, and from behind, a big crit from Skeeter takes out XXS. The Sonic Wave on 3, Yule's up in the air for crit. Skeeter makes a run for it with his BKB, but XM will still pounce on both supports, trying to slow them down, hoping that they can at least get one of them here. Snaking pulled back in, and finally Ame shows up to the fight to claim Snaking's head. They'll get one out of this.
Nice kickoff for Falcons. They get this Mars off the map. They do pay a little bit of a price, but once Ame shows up to that fight, you're not taking it unless Skeeter's confident that the control is going to come through.
Yeah, considering that BKBs didn't have to be used for Extreme, this is a very deadly point. No Pango, everything up for Extreme. Being able to take the Mars off the bat, like you said it, like there's not really that much initiation for Extreme if there is no Mars.
They did get another D ward off that though. Falcons are losing a lot of wards to make these plays. It's really adding up.
You combine lack of vision with the Elder Titan, the vision advantage that Elder Titan's going to give you. It caused some problems, but those problems, they can at least wait another minute or two, because really there's no objectives until Roshan is up. They want to take this tier 2. I'm sure Falcons wouldn't care that much about it. Ame tries to go fishing with this haster and see if he can find some hero up here farming up jungle.
I mean, this Hoodwink Dom has done some work. Jin-Q mega farm now. Finished an entire Lincoln Sphere. I wouldn't say it's the best Lincoln Sphere game. Not really good against the Pango Ember here.
Yeah, you're stopping the Sven
That is it. You are trying to throw this on Ame or XM. Maybe even XXS, who's been getting jumped a lot. If you block that Sven stun, could be a huge deal in the fight, but it's a very expensive investment to look just for that.
Yeah. I mean, there's maybe little things like blocking out a Yule's during an enrage timing for an Ursa or something like that. It could go a long ways.
Could come into play, absolutely.
Level 25s are right around the corner for both of our carries. That's going to be a bit spooky as Roshan. We're in that potential spawn period. Both teams are going to be playing around this area.
High
Top part of
damage
the pit.
talents for both of these carries. Like the burst damage just becomes insane. To me, if the fight goes long, this Queen could be a big problem for Falcons. In theory, their answer to a long fight is, Pango Ember, bringing that same sort of attrition and just constant spell spam.
Yeah.
But the way the fights have been going is, it feels like one of those cores just gets bursted. I think you still want to jump this Sven in to almost give them better entry into the fight.
If you get to a Satanic and then Ember Spirit continues to scale, do you think that flips to the other side at some point? That longer fights can still work for Falcons because the Ember mostly?
Oh, I think they can. It's just execution.
Sure.
You kite out those little moments. Can you dodge the jump from Ame? Does someone control him when he's trying to go in and burst that target while he's committing BKB? Small things like this make all the difference. Can you find supports at the start of the engagement? You take X-Nova out, you remove a lot of the amp damage in this lineup.
Falcons not to find anything. A pickoff there could have led to control the Roshan pit. A swift blink Ame Ursa.
He's so farmed. All he needs is that level 25. He's prepared for this next fight. 50 seconds for that Roche spawn. Pretty fast one. Falcons just trying to control the vision they have. They have this one ward towards mid. They have a gem up. Trying to hold this high ground. There's a sneaky Radiant ward behind this tree line over here too. Could be really pivotal if you scout someone in the river.
Oh, yeah.
Not an easy obs to D-ward. XG just wait. They're playing patient right now. Trying to finish up the last few items to go into this next Roshan battle. It's going to be A on disc for XM. Something to watch out for. He gets jumped by the Sven, he assembles that disc. The jump is gone.
And you pretty much can't afford a bad jump for this Sven, right? It almost feels like the fight is over if he jumps the wrong person and can't kill them.
Or if he jumps, stuns, goes to hit, Ame jumps, pistols him. That's an easy turnaround.
Sure.
Actually, you're going to throw out the sonic waves. Arena's going to hit someone in the back.
กูโดนแน่เลยว่ะ
Going in here is very difficult, but he almost has to the way the lineup functions.
Has to pick and choose his battles, and he's going to go for XM, but I think they know about the Aeon Disc. They have not jumped after this initiation from Amar. What a read from Falcons, but XM holds off on putting the Aeon Disc together. They'll TP away on the Rolling Thunder. They tried to get something. That was just such a smart play on both sides. XM, I mean,
ไม่ได้จิตเขาก็ไม่กล้าเล่นหรอก
when you're
ไม่
being
ก
sent
ล้า
up
เล่
by
นกัน
Rolling Thunder, knowing there could just be a Sven that one-shots you.
แต่ดับเบิลดาเมจว่ะ
He refuses
ดับ
to
เบิลดา
do
เมจ
it.
อยู่บนว่ะ
He knows Ame has his back on that counterplay. He knows if Skeeter jumps, he will pay a big price there.
เก็บมาแล้วไอ้เหี้ยดับเบิลดาเมจ
And they have damage for a Sven. Maybe they get the Roshan, but Falcons,
แต่ได้ก่อน
I
ว่ะ
think they still want to force this fight. They're going to try it. Malray, he just throws straight in inside the
สวย
fight. Here comes
สตัน
Fear.
เชนเอาให้ตายทีเดียว
Where is he? He isn't able to get there in time, and now he's been hit by the
แล้วไงอะ
grab.
XM XM โอ้ยโหอะไรเด้งวะเมื่อกี้สวยมากเลยอะไม่ตายด้วยสเนคิงตายแทนฟาวคอนเรียบร้อยสกิตเตอร์กูฟาร์มมาให้เมกูตบจีจีเลยไหมไปเกม2เลยปะ
Beautiful kiting from XG. The control on the Sven, stalling up his jump to follow that Ember Spirit. And such clutch hexes from XXS. This guy's control has been on point this entire tournament. Such a strong team fight from XG. Their burst damage is just insane. Malray, he took so much there, but that ET amps it all up. You get hit by that Ursa splitter. One last bash from the Ursa and you're gone. Nobody to bail you out of that situation. A deep dive goes wrong for him.
And if Extreme win this game 1, I mean, what are you going to do if you're the coach? What are you going to do if you're the drafter? AUI 2000. Amar, he doesn't want to ban Mars. That's his hero.
You got to take it away from him.
Yeah, you're going to be put in that corner where you have to take it. And we may see if Extreme have answers to it. But first, they have to close out this game 1 to make that happen. And they may have a big lead. 9,000 net worth. 3.5 minutes left on the Aegis. Falcons are known to be able to stall out games. XXS. He's landed a number of initiations. They'll find another one. Ame leads away with the Abyssal Blade, and XXS follows through. Another 60 seconds where Falcons will not have all their heroes alive.
So much gold for XG in this period. I mean, they can start buying up some luxury items now. There's the refresher for the Mars. Could be another hex on this Hoodwink. Malray's life is just not getting any easier. It didn't start easy in this game, and it doesn't feel like it's getting any better. It's just so much control for him to play through, and this is kind of the downside of Ember. He doesn't pack a big enough punch to go in and be a threat during his BKB that XG can't deal with it. So you have to play for the long fight. Yeah, somebody is getting caught in the control, and nobody is challenging this Ame Ursa right now. He is just running a rampage through this game. Ag's done as well. How do you kill this guy? Feels impossible.
Kinda does. I mean, you're gonna have to wait 2.5 minutes because killing him is gonna take some sort of initiation, and I don't think they'll be able to pull that off twice. I mean, they have like no instant stuns. The best you have is Sven, Blink, melee range, Stormhammer.
But he has
Rolling
Ags.
Thunder, Blink initiation, but
you cannot jump him anymore. It's impossible. He will always get Ags and Rage off. You have no silences to prevent it.
Yep.
Like you said, 2 minutes on this Aegis XG. They can force high ground again. They can look for that game-ending fight.
So their only option as Falcons is to make the jump on the Ursa, reset, and high ground defense is the best possible place to make a play like that, right?
Yep, especially if you can abuse buybacks. It's one way to try and force that teamfight win. They do not have a lot available right now. It's only that Ember Spirit. Sometimes it's enough with the high ground positioning. Ideally, you make a jump on somebody, you take them down, you reset, and then This Pango can control Ursa a little bit with the Basher, the Axe rolls going through. It's kind of your hope right now that ATF has a monster team fight on this high ground.
Well, you said luxury items were coming in. They're here for a couple more heroes. XM with the Shivas. The sight device on the Hoodwink, which is not required for yet another Enchantress kill. No problems killing her now. Now that Ame is playing in the front line, Skeeter's gonna make his jump. Gets off the in-range on Ame. Skeeter got that much out of him. But you got that. But you still want to be able to play with the God straight. But they jump in anyway. Skeeter, he wanted a fight, but he didn't think it was gonna start that way. With him dead and gone. And what are you gonna do now? It's up to Maureen and Amar. They're gonna have to pull through this fight for you. You buy back on the Sven, but he won't have the God strength. They're kiting around Ame as best as possible right now. XM, Yules, he dodged out the Stormhammer, and he's gonna have a blink up in a second. He still has his BKB. A nice pin from the low ground from XXS. A buyback's being used from Falcons, from all these heroes, but they've got nothing for it. They killed a Hoodwink at best. They took out Roadkill, and that's all.
You have to get more there for a triple buyback. The Sven one is not going to be the most impactful, but you bought both supports. You took an extended fight. For once, Maureen does survive the Hex burst attempt, gets BKB off, has some impact, 3,000 damage, but you can't burst any of these targets down. You can't wear through the front line here. Bear is just too much of a menace right now. You need more sustain, you need more damage. There's another great shard for XG to pick up. I don't think I've seen a spear miss outside of maybe the one top on that open arena. Just in every single one. There's another Aeon disc for this Sven to deal with. No nullifier in sight.
Level 25 on XXS, 180 HP regen inside the Arena of Blood. But if they can take him out of the equation right away, no Aeon disc. Where is he going to throw out this arena? He's waiting out the BKB. He knows Skeeter's going to expire soon, and now he's got it for the side, then the spear, then the damage that Ame brings to the
A dieback on the Sven. Falcons crumbling. No answer for Ame and his jump.
XXS doing his best, even an Outworld staff there. Double daggers to slow him down. Ame still finding more. He first catches Snaking. No buybacks there. He chases after Crit. Another hero to fall on the side of Falcons. Double cookies where they can. And they're chasing after the Ember Spirit on the same side.
Supports are just killing him.
Supports taking out the Ember Spirit.
Ex-Nova boss just man-fighting the Falcons mid. Back up from Jinkyu. That's a free kill. Maureen did not expect the damage, but there's that magic amp combination. It's just so nasty when he's on top of you. Now Ame, he gets a free trip to the high ground. Says thanks for the setup, boys. All clean house.
จีได้แล้วบายแบ็กมีไหมเนี่ยบายแบ็กก็ไม่มีมีสเนคิงคนเดียวที่มีบายแบ็กไม่ใช่ดิมีอัลม่าคนเดียวที่มีบายแบ็ก
They're gonna get megas out of this. They should be able to end the game, unless Falcons. I mean, I don't even know what they have to do here. I mean, they do manage to get back to a protection up, but the mid lane is going to push in. XM's got that covered. Unless Amar can get there with the Rolling Thunder. He's not popping it. He's trying with the swashbuckle. It's stopped by XM. Now he has the Rolling Thunder. See if he can kill the creep wave. They pop the Glyph. They pop the Sonic Wave even. Anything to protect the creeps. Amar still gets it though, and he makes a blink away. He makes a swift retreat. Did he just buy Falcons the time they needed?
Backdoor should come up here.
Glyph goes up.
This will guarantee it. Amar with some nice moves on this mid lane. Stalls for the other heroes to come back up.
Can Extreme Gaming get through the backdoor protection though? They're going to try. Aside the fight, oh, they got the Invisible Blade initiation on Maureen. And Maureen dead for 2 minutes. Maybe it doesn't matter how much time you buy Ame. He seems to be eternal at this point in time. 11, 1, and 10. He will stand here as long as it is needed to finish out this game.
Or take the easier road, you know, go get that bottom lane in. Free up that last Rax. You're looking at Megas very shortly here. They know that's a dieback on this Ember.
A butterfly coming in for him. All right.
All on ATF here. Refresher delivered for the Pango. Does have the 25 talent. He has got to get in here and do some serious damage in the fight.
Falcons, they did their shenanigans, but the backdoor protection is going to go down again unless they can jump the Ursa now and kill him. This is going to be Megas. Try and get something out of it.
Gotta go.
Even a BKB. There goes the Rolling Thunder. There goes Team Ratio with the BKB turnaround. Skeeter, he's got to run, but he's pushed back in by the Sonic Wave. Into the claws of the bear. He will be pulverized. A hit in for the Rolling Thunder, but XM, he's still at Eontis to be able to work with. A shot coming in. Shin-Q, not even required. Ame is all the damage you need at this point for Extreme Gaming to close out the game, and they will take the lead in the series of the TI Finals.
1 คะแนนแล้วอาเมอีก2 แต้มยิ้มแล้วนางยิ้มแล้วค่ะทุกคนอาเมอาเมอาเมอาเมอาเมอาเมอาเมอาเม
They weathered that storm mid with the Ember and then just diced that pickup. So much control from already in his fights. It felt like he did not exist in that mid lane game.
No, he certainly didn't. And there is a lot to go over. It's a best of 5 in these finals. And the back and forth of the drafting, it's going to be a hard battle to commence.
And we'll see who wins that battle later down the line. Well, the first step has been made by Extreme Gaming. They take that first one of the best of 5 and are in a strong position to move forward in this series. How did they get to this point? That's why we got the experts to talk about it. Tigov, Effie, and Kezu. This game started fairly slow, Kezu.
No, it did, but one thing that surprised me quite a bit was how hard XG won their lanes. This usually doesn't happen when you play against Falcons. They're very good with like the lane swap, and they did do that again. They put the engine in the offlane. Crit on the Snapfire in the safe, and honestly, it had a very big impact on this game. Crit didn't have a good time there. He got a very late level 6. Jinkyu got a very early earn as well on his Hoodwink. Went around, got a lot of stuff done. So to me, then the mid game slowed down. But yeah, overall, XG, I really feel like they brought their absolute A game to this game 1.
I think they identified the fact that Marine needs to be shut down. When you look at Marine's performances so far throughout TI, at the 20-minute mark, he's only ever had like 4 deaths, 3 deaths. But this time, yeah, he has 3 deaths more. His second most deaths so far. Often it's like 1 or 2. Like he's having such a good tournament. But XG, they identified Marine, they killed him 3 times by the 20-minute mark, and they truly shut him down.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. He is the rock of this team. They play this early game off of the shoulders of Malorine's timing, off of his tempo, and he couldn't recreate it that game. Extreme Gaming came to win today. They played with such confidence in these lanes. Falcons are a team we're used to seeing win these side lanes, not blunder, not feed, ready for every power rune, ready for every wisdom rune rotation. Usually they're the team bringing 3 heroes to the wisdom shrines, but guess what? They gave up both wisdom shrines this game. Their Sapphire did not have level 6 for a very long time because of that, and they didn't have the damage that they usually need to get their first few pickoffs.
There were also like so many clips that we can see here too. They're about so many small things. The way XG earlier like bursted Malrine, Atos, Hex, Stunlock, you go this, then you go on X and he disassembles his A on this, it proxy gets loaded by someone else. And then you have a bushwhack to like save him onwards and onwards, and there's so many things. The Falcons too, like snaking countless times. He lives because he goes in front, he has the right itemization, he uses himself, he delays. But the longer the game goes, at least until Falcons have like 6 slot on Ember and Pango, this Ame Ursa, he just eats you alive.
Especially later in the game when what they had to do on Falcons was to play the map, push these side lanes out. How do you do that when this Ursa has a blink Abyssal Blade so early into the game? We'd see a hero show top, instantly get Abyssal. If you're an Ember, you have to Remnant out. If you're a Pango, you have to just roll away. There wasn't a means for you to control the map after that initial aggression from Extreme Gaming.
No, I feel like a lot of the theme of this grand finals would be who can XG just stabilize the early game to get themselves to this team fight excellence, right? Ame being 13-1-11, like the fight selection that he has is incredible. The execution of the spells from XSS, impeccable. X-Nova, the vision from his spirit and just opening up the fights. Like everything XG does is based on the mid-game timing. So I'm really looking for the future of this series. How can Falcons try and change up that pacing, not allow them to kind of cruise control to the point where they are happy to take any fight?
And XXS on this Mars, like we saw it. It was in first pick Mars.
Yeah.
They heavily prioritized his hero in this draft, and I would love to see that be recreated in the next game. They didn't even care what kind of matchup they would get, so long as he had a means to take these fights for them, and that he did. He was always finding the key targets in that mid lane fight. They got the kill on Ember. It just made it easy for Ame to come in, clean up, and get his net worth up because of that.
Yeah, and you pointed out it was an overall first pick Mars, and it makes me wonder. I think there's been a lot of TI finals that have like one hero that the series kind of starts revolving around. Could that be the Mars in this case, or will it just be banned from here on out? Because that is also an option.
It could absolutely be Mars. I'm going to expect the same thing in game 2. It's going to be first picked or it's going to be banned. It's already been the hero of a lot of games, and it's going to continue, I think, to be that way. But I want to show a lot of things that also happened that allowed XG to like even get to this stage. They don't have the BKB yet on Ame. They need time. So they go ahead of him. They smoke ahead to make sure they're around the Roche pit and allow him to farm. But look at this top-level D-warding from both teams here. You have X-Nova. They protect their triangle. Falcons are like, okay, the game is about Roche. They D-ward them again. Now, because this D-ward happened, Extreme, they ping on the minimap. They're like, yo, they must have seen me place this ward. So I'm now going to go D-ward your ward that is on the lane too. And these are the small things that actually, first of all, allow this game to delay. This is 26 minutes. Roshan hasn't died yet. 28 minutes, you have another Roche off. You have a fourth D-ward coming out from the teams against each other. And in the ultimate last clip, this is now 30-30. Look at the minimap. Ame is now down bottom, so is Roshan. He's had enough. He uses the Fog of War to blink into the pit before Falcons are ready. And this is like 4 to 5 minutes of small macro gameplay that allowed them to take the very first ages of the game. And this is really what then started a bloodbath.
Yeah, up until that point, it kind of felt like the game could have been going either team's way, but vision is incredibly important.
No, it is so critical. And then when you see the D-wards on the map for Falcons to truly understand, one's on the bot side, one's on the top rune, like the map is getting choked out from the vision game. And when you get to play a slow game, vision is critical. All it takes in Dota is one jump to unlock the next big objective, be it Roshan, Tier 2, High Ground, and XG played it flawlessly in the mid-game.
Yeah, and why was this a slow game? Because after the draft was done, I was told, Effie, that Falcons was going to have a very scary early game. And in my head, scary kind of coincides with maybe being active and aggressive, but it didn't turn out that way at all.
Well, they lost their lanes really hard. They were bleeding kills like left and right. They couldn't really set up for power runes the way that they are. They couldn't get their wisdom shrines early on, and naturally they're just going to slow down because of that. They hit their tempo based off of how well they played their first 10 minutes, and XG had their number in this one. They were going to play slow because they were just waiting for their Ursa's BKB timing, but after that, even though there weren't a lot of kills, they were playing quickly on the map on Extreme Gaming. They were ready to just jump any target that showed on the side lanes.
Yeah, the early game definitely did not have as much action as maybe we thought initially, but that's okay. And the action that was there was very mechanically skilled, isn't that right, Purge?
That's right. Those early game fights after you lose your towers are so important because they beat back your opponents or stop them from taking more ground. So that's why this fight was so important at the 18-minute mark for Extreme Gaming here. They've got Blink Dagger on the Mars. They're able to jump and spear back Mallory into the tower, and they throw all of their damage into him, basically, almost all of their ultimates. But killing him is important because he's the one that's going to be disabling, staying alive, and stopping their heroes from blinking around. So really good teamfight disruption from the Pangolier, and eventually, with this great hoof stomp that happened here, it basically oops, wrong tool. It sets up a very good stomp and very good arena, which looks like a great opportunity. But Skitter jumps in, and something I want you to look at is look at how much armor he's got here. He's got 8-8 right now. I'm going to do the zoom in one. But as soon as he gets close to the Elder Titan X Nova, this armor number drops down to 0. And this is the exact moment that Ame jumps in with his Battle Fury. And if you take a look over here as well, he forgot to use Warcry, or he chose not to because he needed to jump in immediately to save his teammates. And as a result, he's got -8 armor because of his Mask of Madness, which is why he died so stupidly fast. I mean, they even used the Pavis here to give him some HP, but it doesn't really matter if you got -8 armor. So this was a really sick read by Extreme Gaming to recognize, oh, we're down 2 heroes, but we can still blow you up right now. So they took that opportunity, won that team fight, and that really helped ensure that that laning stage disadvantage that Falcons had didn't get any stronger.
Yeah, very well put there indeed. And of course, both teams are looking forward to seeing what might change in that game number 2. Maybe different pick order, different heroes, definitely as well. And I'm wondering, what can we really learn from a game like this? Because considering it was so slow, do you think either team will try to speed it up, or is that too risky? Because playing that fast does come with risks.
I would say that both teams actually kind of got what they want. Even like Malrine, he has a lot of level 25, level 30 heroes. He didn't have the best game, but I would attribute that more to Extreme Gaming. I think they played very well. They didn't give them many like opportunities in the game, so I wouldn't even call this an off game from Falcons. I just think XG, they brought their A game. I don't think you change too much when it comes to the draft. You just gotta bring it in the game.
Agreed. I think Extreme Gaming, like, they have their momentum from their amazing win yesterday into their energizing win today into this game. They caught Falcons off guard, and now Falcons have to wake up, because if you look at their draft, Skeeter on Sven, ATF on Pango, Malvian on his Embers, Snaking on his Enchantress, Crit on his Snapfire. These are their heroes.
Well, I know two people who are great at waking other people up. Slacks and Tsunami.
Hello, everyone. Yes, yes, indeed. Can we tell the future, my friends? This is the Oracle TI, in case you didn't notice, because you're dumb. Anyway, yes. Will we be able to tell the future here today? In fact, we will. You see, in pubs after the International, there's a bit of time until the next patch, and typically, people will pick whatever they picked at the International, making, you know, pro builds into very, very bad pub builds. So, I have gathered the greatest seers in all of the arena, the random people standing behind me, who will make prophecies upon what we will see in your future disgusting pub games. Let us go and speak to other seers. Hello, what do you think we will see after the International in pub games?
I'll probably think of Hoodwink with Helm of Dominator, but just in general, Helm of Dominator on any kind of support. Pulling the lanes, giving us some free tasty last hits on big creeps. It's going to be wonderful.
Absolutely disgusting Helm of the Dominator, pause 4s and pause 5. Write it down, Tsunami. Dark times ahead. Put it on the sacred slate, please.
Slacks, I don't want to do the character. Please don't make me do the voice.
Do the voice, Tsunami. We practiced the voice for 20 minutes in the back. Tsunami, do the voice.
Oh, Sia, I shall write down Hoodwink and Helm of the Dominator.
Don't do the voice anymore, Tsunami. They love it. Keep doing it. What do you think we'll see after the International?
I've got a couple of things.
Okay.
First of all, the runes. I've been following the decoding of the runes.
Yes.
Maybe like this Azizov character.
Let's not spoil the secret runes, young man. Maybe. Don't look at, I don't know shit. You think they tell me anything? I would tell you right now, for fun. But maybe we might see something. What else? Meta-wise. Why? He keeps looking at you, making me uncomfortable. Goodbye, young man. Goodbye. Hello?
Hello. Everybody buys 2 Dominators and switches them in the inventory.
Double Dominator switcheroo.
For everybody.
Don't write that down. Oh, he's writing it down. Oh, no. Strange people staring. Yes, indeed. Helm of the Dominator backpack strat could happen. Anyone else have an idea? Hello, what will we see in the future of Dota?
Yeah, I'm just scared to see the Bristleback with Butterfury in my pubs.
Oh, no, gracious. Dark times ahead, Bristleback with Battle Fury. Please ban the Bristleback to save yourself. What do you think we'll see?
One team will have full Helm of the Dominator, and the other team will have full Midases to counter it.
Oh my goodness gracious. I don't think that worked. Whatever.
My liege, I missed that one. Say it again, please.
I'm good. No, that doesn't. It's all good. Hello. What do you think we'll see, my friend?
The heroic Meepo carry.
Oh! One person cheers, the one Meepo player in the crowd. 'Tis a good day for you, but terrible for everyone else. What shall you see?
Satanic's Tinker carry.
Oh, God! My heart cannot take it. Foul times are ahead of us, Tsunami. What have you got written down? Last one right here. What do you think?
Maybe Battle Cup Turbo Mod?
Oh, okay, could happen. All right, everyone. Tsunami, do you like our choices?
The choices are sound, my lord, and thou shalt pick Hoodwink and Helm of the Dominator. Strange people will stare at you and make you feel uncomfortable. 2 Dominators, 1 in the backpack and 1 in the inventory. We're gonna keep having Bristleback's grief games. That's just business as usual. Yuma Meepo, any love for the Meepo picks that we had during the road? And okay, now you guys are cheering because I tell you to, but I want you to be real on this one. Do you actually want to see Tinker carry?
Tinker carry แพทไหนใน Tinker carry เนี่ย
May that be the loudest boo I've ever heard on stage while I'm there. Thank you so much, everyone. Well, have some dark days in your pub after the International, but many things might still happen in this grand finals. So keep your eyes open, my friends. Good luck. It's going to be hell out there.
or happy times, because if all my enemies are doing that, I'm winning normal things. That's how it goes, team.
No, it doesn't. It's always on your team. Don't be so naive. And you queue for the game, you're happy after TI, and then you get every single idea in one single game.
No.
And then you still win. That's the beauty of Dota.
You see, you still win. Okay, that's all. That's all.
I was going to put you down and then bring you back up.
No, we're good. We're good. Speaking of winning, Extreme Gaming just won that first game, so there's a lot of talk going on in the back, I would imagine, with both of the teams and how they will adapt TGov. How do you want them to adapt?
Well, I think the easy answer is the respect of Mars in the series, but I think the critical point will be Elder Titan, right? X-Nova, the stand-in, he wasn't on XG until, of course, unfortunately, Paulison fell ill, and X-Nova has entered the team with exceptional Elder Titan gameplay, and I feel like every clip we're going to ever see, it will be the buff-ups of the ET, the sleep disengages, everything about this hero makes it a grand finals hero.
It is one of his best heroes, it's one of his most played heroes, and I think he used the shard
กลับมา
pretty
แล้
well.
ว
Other ETs, you just see, they stomp and they chill, but when he got the Ember, when he got Amar on the Pango,
สู้
he went on top of them, he
Extreme
used all the armor, so Ame, he just claps you out of the game like immediately, and we must not forget, X-Nova just a few months ago had one of the darkest days ever with me in OG. We sucked. There was nothing going on, but this guy, he's incredible. He's making this comeback. He's playing so well. I'm just really happy to see like the two teams playing this well and going up against each other.
He's been sharp the entire tournament, and also the TP cancel on Sven, that was his Earth Splitter early on. If that hadn't happened, they would have not traded the Quap kill for the Sven kill, which tipped a lot of the momentum in XG's favor. And the dewarding clips that you showed us earlier, there was a cool stat that we didn't get to talk about yet, but actually Snaking and X-Nova, they're averaging around the same amount of dewards per game. Both of these teams are getting around 8.8 in a game, and he was probably the only one competing with Falcon supports on that. The next one was P-Vision at 7 dewards.
They have respectful map play. I say that, and it's like very honest traditional Dota, right? The way that they move, the way they do, they're not utilizing, Helmet Dominators to, shadow push a wave and not have to do it. Like, they're doing it the old-fashioned way, which is why these stats are so similar and why this finals, again, still should be so competitive.
What about that hoodwink dominator though? They were doing a little sneak.
A little. It was like,
play.
why? I was like, what? I'm referencing the fact that it's not 5 or 4 or 3 compared to other teams. Wink,
Just
wink, nudge,
mere
nudge.
one.
One's acceptable. 3, 4, 5. Come on.
Also, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the last times that Ame played in the grand finals, he ended up losing game 1. And then they ended up winning 2 in a row, and then they ended up, losing the rest. This time, this could be the flip of the switch. You've got the script that's turned upside down.
Pulled the other grand finals that Ame lost. He won the first 2 and then lost the second 2 as well. So
พิ
he
ยา
has
มาสเตอร์
both
ได้ที่
iterations
1
on
วี
it.
เพก็ได้ที่ 1 MD เพเซอร์ได้ที่
We all love Ame, and there is a reason he is called the uncrowned
1 อี
king.
คิปเซนเตอร์ก็ได้ที่
Placements. It's first at Riyadh, first we play, first at so many counters.
1 TI 7 ได้ที่ 4 ใช่ไหม TI 8 ได้ที่ 2 TI 9 ได้ที่ 3 TI 10 ได้ที่ 2 อันนี้คือแบบเศร้ามากตอน LGD แล้วก็ TI 11 ได้ที่ 5 อย่างนี้ 6 ไม่ได้มา 12 13 ไม่ได้มา 14 ถึงได้มา
So this could really be the one time where he can do it. He's up 1 game. They're looking so strong. I'm really looking for him to maybe do it this time.
I will say it's so impressive to have played 6 internationals and
เรา
all 6 of
เรา
them
โกง
you finished top 6
สู้ๆเราโกง
even like second and third
เรา
being
โก
the
ง
most common one. That is
สู้เขาเราโกง
on its own, let
อา
alone
เบ้
being able to come so close to
โอ้ย
taking
หล่อ
the
อะ
stages time and time again, and
โอ้ย
this
หล่อ
time
อะ
Extreme Gaming definitely on the right track to taking this grand final.
ชอบอะสเปคเป็นแบบเนี้ย สเปคเป็นคนหน้าแบบเนี้ย ทรงแบบเนี้ย
There's one question as to how
แพ้หนุ่มตี
in that previous game, Melreen having such a rough time, you
ไม่
could
หล่อ
feel
อะหล่อ
that
แบบ
Extreme Gaming knew to
หล่อทุก
target
องศา
Are we gonna see Falcons do something with that?
นางเริ่มยิ้มแล้ววะ ตอนแรกมันมาโคตรตึงอะนะเกมแรกอะอันนี้เริ่มอมยิ้มชนะ 1
a hero that he has a win condition on.
They often do pick his hero quite early, right? With the Pangolin pick,
3-0
that be the case, but with the Queen of Pain,
3-0
they
ค่ะ
had to find a solution. And at that point, the bans, Monkey was banned, Earthshaker banned, Beastmaster banned. Like they already had respected it. So yeah, you got to slot Marine a little bit earlier in the draft potentially.
Well, let's see if they do that, as it is time to head into the second game.
Team Falcons versus Extreme Gaming Grand Finals Game 2.
And we are in the thick of it already. We got Falcons Radiant, Extreme Dire, and the first pick is on the board. We have Extreme Gaming this time with the pickup of the Beastmaster. As kind of expected, the Mars was banned out fairly early by Falcons already. They leave the sniper in for this particular game and they answer with an Enchantress.
Not just the Mars Sheaves, but they've just
เฮ้ย
put
อ๋อ
total
เชน
respect
ชันเฟส
on
มาเล่นอีกแก
XXS's hero
บีด
pool.
มา
They
เตอ
take
ร์
out his Shaker, they take out his Centaur. They didn't want any of his
ตา
shenanigans
หนึ่งดู
this
ตัวเอก
time
ตา
around.
หนึ่งดูแข่ง
A lot of the big Marine heroes that we were just referencing are already banned or picked. So, interesting enough, Marine will have to think about a new hero once again that he hasn't relied on to get to this position.
My take on that last game was that the Ember would have looked better if the supports had a better game. Because
sure.
Ember is a
Ame,
hero
I
that
love
needs to play
you.
the supports,
Amo.
and the Snap didn't get level 6 for a very long
คน
time.
หล่อ
and
คน
they
หล่อ
were
ยิ้ม
feeding on
แล้
the
ว
sidelines.
คนหล่อยิ้ม
Typically with Falcons, Snay and
มาเอา
Crit
แชมป์
will
แน่นอน
rotate
ครับ
so early and play
อารม
with
ณ์ดี
Mallory.
เข้าไว้
This just didn't happen. So the
positive
Ember looked
thinking
bad.
PMA
He also looked
player
a little uncomfortable, to be fair, like slight change. Some of them he was missing in the mid-river when he got ganked by the Hoodwink. Other Ember players would have been able to jump out. He wasn't. Like, he hasn't played it that many times in his career. He did play it once already at the International. It looked really dominant, but compared to his other heroes, it just didn't look to be in the same league.
I like that Falcons don't shy away from the Eng, right? The snaking Eng looked phenomenal in the entire tournament. It looked good last game too. So just because you lose once with it, don't go away from it. You're up against the Beastmaster, but at the same time, XG, they've banned out the two best heroes in my mind that Falcons would like to play against the Beastmaster. You've got the Gyro, you've got the Weaver. Because Skeeter, unlike other carrier players, he cares a lot about having, like, his game is like important to him, but it's more important that he slows you down. So they're gonna have to look for a replacement that links well with Eng to slow down the Beastmaster themselves.
And it does give permission to XG to buy one Dominator. One Eng equals one Dominator, that's fair, it's honest Dota 2.
I mean, you know it was going to happen anyway
Yeah.
with the Beastmaster. But Ent is one of the old school lane counters as well. Sure, you cannot enchant the Dominator, but you just take a boar on lane and you stick it to Beastmaster.
Falcons want a lot more tempo in this game, right? The way that ATF plays the Bristleback, he's throwing himself into early fights very quickly. And we've already said it many times, pacing is what beats XG. And with the first two picks from Falcons,
มาอีก
that's what they're
แล้ว
going for.
แต่ฝั่ง
Once
นี้
again,
เอา
this
ฟาล
early
คอน
type,
เอาไปเล่น
5
ว่ะ
games, 100% win rate
ไม่
is
ใช่
exactly what you want to
XG
see
เอาอีกแล้ว
to survive that early game. It does so much to dismantle
พูด
any
ไปอีกแล้วเหรอ
aggression.
It's the same support
พูด
duo
ปิง
from
เอลเดอ
XG.
ร์ไท
They
ทัน
went with it in game one,
ดาร์ก
you
ตัว
take it
ที่
into
แบบ
your game
ชอบ
two.
อะดิตัว
Hoodwink
เก่ง
as well against Bristleback, incredibly strong. You've got the break, you get some roar into the sharpshooter. There's a lot of damage coming out if you're Falcons. The good thing for them also, they can flex the Bristleback. Yeah, it is. I would say Amar plays it probably the best out of all the players they have, but it would be a nice answer for you in the lane against the Beastmaster when you play this
เอา
Bristle
มัง
and
กร
Eng
มา
together.
Marine Primal Beast. If you want to create some chaos in the game, throw in the Primal, throw in the Bristleback, just run through XG. Don't give them time to think about the early game because, yeah, Falcons, they want to fight this time around.
Primal Beast doesn't put XM, it doesn't put Mallory in a position where he gets counter-picked by XM or has to worry about his pick. Last game, there was a Queen of Pain. That's